It's starting.
He's begun.
We're back.
He's begun. We've returned.
I'm tired.
Are you tired still?
It's not from the trip. I'm following the Joel schedule.
What's that? What are you doing?
I've been getting up at 5 a.m. every day.
Are you getting up early?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, rock and rolling.
It's killing me.
Throwing up some weight?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I am putting 6 hours in at the co-op every morning before I do my normal work.
Oh, all right.
So
yeah, that'll do it.
So yeah, I did all the things today. I hung a coat rack, I'll have you know. Yeah.
Kudos.
That's about as good of a project as I can do.
Put it together.
Well, if buying it and then screwing it to the wall is putting it together, then yes.
It could be. It could be considered.
You know.
I mean, I don't. It's not DIY.
Sorry.
Come on,
It's
Jimmy.
an amateur hour over here.
Come on.
I would consider it like DIY. But
Definitely
then
not.
again, some people shouldn't DIY, as I think my neighbors right up the street learned yesterday.
Was that fire DIY related?
Possibly. Unknown.
Oh,
Unknown. But house completely engulfed in fire.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like, big time. Like, one of the guys was like, I was up at the mall and I seen it, which is quite a ways off from where I live. And, yes, but luckily everyone was okay. All the animals made it. The humans made it out on their own, apparently. The firefighters saved the dog.
Wait, the humans left the dog in there?
They were trying to get the dog, and the dude collapsed from smoke inhalation.
All right.
So
I
he
can't really
almost-
fault the guy if you collapse
he was
from
trying to get
trying.
the dog.
Yeah.
Apparently, the dog freaked out because the house was on fire and ran up and hid in the bed.
Makes sense.
Upstairs, which is sort of like, fire burns up,
Yeah.
and you're like,
It's the worst possible spot.
it's
you
like,
can be.
yeah, dude, go outside, bro. What are you doing? But everybody made it out okay. But the weird thing is that the house was like just bought like 2 months ago.
I was going to say
was like
burn,
the guy-
but literally it was a burn.
They just bought it.
Dang.
Like, they had just bought it, so it was
How
kind
do
of
you know
crazy.
so much about this?
What's that?
It's his neighbor.
It was my neighbor.
It's your neighbor.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
right over there. Which, of course, I felt like a total idiot because apparently the whole house was completely on fire and I didn't know it.
Were
Right.
the dogs doing anything?
I was inside working on audio, so I had my headphones on and stuff. I was like working at in my office, and the dogs started barking, right? Because there were cops like parked out front because the dogs freak out when people park out front. I was like, oh, let me see what's going on. So I looked out the window and I'm like, there's like fire trucks and like police cars and stuff all over. I'm like, oh, I better go find out what's going on. So I go out there and I'm like, oh yeah, that house was completely burned.
That's like part of a movie.
Yeah.
You-
And they
you're
were
all
like,
listening
and
to
all
your
my neighbors
headphones
are
and
like,
everything that's
you
going on
didn't
in the
hear it?
background.
You didn't like
I just
notice?
envision
I was
old
like,
man
I was working.
girl just like walking up. So what's happened here?
Yeah, what's going down? Does anybody know? Anybody know what
You
happened here?
need a hand? I can go get my axe,
Shelby
you
says
know.
that's not a happy Europe story, bruh.
Need some help or anything?
No one's asked a single question about Europe, so
Well, I mean, that happened yesterday,
Yeah.
afternoon, so it's pretty fresh in my mind.
and it's new to me.
It's new.
I was in Europe, so
Yeah, we were both in Europe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. France is pretty cool. Seems like their airport's falling apart.
I could totally go Steamfod Aquatics on France
How's that?
and just say that it sucks.
Well, we didn't go about the countryside. Or
I
anything.
can attest that CDG, the airport,
Charles de Gaulle.
they should just send criminals there because it's a far worse punishment than jail.
Really?
I will tell you that airport is a disaster. Even the new part. So the new part of the airport
Well,
that
he's
we
about
were
to see
in.
the Peru airport, and I heard that's a disaster.
It's got to be better.
Yeah.
Peru's probably like open air, like Hawaii's and stuff, which would be
Yeah.
way nicer than the Paris one.
Water was raining down on Joel's seat.
Oh, really?
Inside the terminal.
Inside.
Oh, man.
Inside.
Something's happening to me right now. Corey's like, what? I'm like, there's water. Water's getting on me.
And it was not that funny on the way home after getting up super early and already flying once and then looking at the long flight ahead. So then Joel moved, and then it would hit the seat so hard it would splash me. So there was that.
On an airplane, just sitting there.
Well, and they had to move our gate.
So yeah, we were at one end, and then after 2 hours of sitting there,
Right.
they switched it to the total opposite end,
Yeah.
which is a long way.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like a super long way, but when you're like, really, dude?
It wasn't
a
like
long
3
way.
gates over. It was straight up
The other
exact
end.
of the other side.
Mhm. It was pretty
Yeah.
cool. It was a solid.
Fluval's tripping.
Fluval's not tripping.
Fluval
Charles de Gaulle
is tripping.
Airport.
Fluval is tripping.
Because they're
Fluval's
the one
tripping.
that booked you the tickets, right?
Oh,
I think they
I don't
know.
think they built the airport.
Oh.
I think they knew.
I think if
They
they
knew
had
about
built the airport, it probably would have functioned better.
The last Fluval's tripping on the way back, they had Joel and I sitting in between 2 other people,
I told you.
but not together. So Joel was in front of me, I was behind him, and we had people on either side of us.
Oh yeah, middle seat.
It couldn't have gotten
In
worse.
a 3-seater?
Yeah, 4.
4? Oh, man.
It could not. Well, I guess technically you could have been further away, but it wouldn't have mattered really.
You guys tried.
I had a guy right next to me that was like really grouchy too. He was not enthusiastic.
I had a
about-
guy in front of me that his seat reclined way too far.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
It reclined further than anyone else's.
there's nothing I could do about it.
I know, that's why I never even mentioned it.
Well, there's
I
nothing.
was like-
There's nothing I could do about it because the person in front of me was super reclined. So it was like whenever I sat up, it was like, oh, there's the seat right in front of me. Cool.
That's
You
the
know?
problem. Even
You see that sound effect? That's
Yeah.
why I hit the mic on purpose.
the guy to the right of me, you could tell he's looking over like, because I made friends with him because his
yeah.
USB thing was broken, so I let him use mine. So not only did I have you like,
You mean my USB thing on my seat was working?
You should have started some
Yes.
fake trauma there.
so that Joel's like laying down almost completely back, and then I've got the cord from the other guy going over there, and then when they go to serve food, it was pretty much a train wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, because when I sat up, I was like, so the other seat was right here when I sat up,
That's the problem I had.
and then I was like,
Was it good food?
no, it was disgusting.
I thought it was amazing on the way back, actually.
He did? What'd you get? Chicken?
The chicken was on point, I thought.
I didn't get the chicken.
I heard you say pasta, and I was like, that's a rookie mistake.
It's not a rookie mistake. The sides were way better than the chicken sides.
Mm.
The pasta wasn't
To be
that
fair, I
great,
didn't
but
eat
all
any of the
sides-
risotto. No, it wasn't risotto. Quinoa, salad.
All
it
the
was-
sides that I got with the pasta was better than the
Well,
sides
my
option.
chicken was on point, and then the ice cream was good. And I like that
Oh, the ice cream was
savory
cool.
breakfast thingy.
The ice cream was cool. I didn't have the gall to ask for another one, even though I was thinking about it.
No, you can't ask for an extra ice cream.
I'm gonna need 2.
Yeah.
Well, the guy next to me was like, no, and I was like, oh,
What do you mean, no? He asked?
no, he like. They
Oh,
were
he
like-
just didn't
they
want
tried
one.
to give him ice cream, and then he was like, no, and I'm like, oh, this guy is.
So the worst part was I was
this
asleep.
guy. I was like, this guy hates everything in the world, even ice creams.
I was asleep, and you like woke me up with like ice cream as you leaned back, and I was like, "Oh man!" But by that time, the person was going the other way, and I was like, "No!" Luckily, when she
watch
was
his
coming
feet,
by,
yeah, you're like,
I like
walk away.
flagged her down,
Like, hey,
like,
man.
and she had like 3
Wow,
left.
ice cream on a
So
flight. Never had that.
There was some next level ice cream in Michigan, though. I'll tell you that.
Was it hand?
Those ice creams on a stick.
it was too much.
Did you like that one? I liked
It was
that
too
one.
much.
The one I got was really good.
No, it was perfectly good, like delicious, delicious, delicious. The problem was being that it was like this big and like this fat. By the time you got to the second half, it was a melty, every bite disaster.
Oh.
Like
Mine didn't melt that much.
mine,
Yeah.
I had the
Maybe mine
cookie
had been
crust.
on like
Mine had the cookie
had
crust.
been like on the deep freeze or something. Who knows? Maybe they had to like dig down.
Yeah,
for
my
it.
cookie crust kept like hitting me in the legs. I could take a
They
bite.
kept Corey's under the heat lamp in the
Yeah.
past.
That woman, by the way, she knew nothing about that ice cream.
She knew nothing about that place.
And
at
she's like,
all.
I work here once a month. You expect me to know? And I was
Right.
like, yeah, I think you could just have one once a month and you would know.
It was-
Like,
yeah. I love that. I love that excuse. I work here once a month. Like, maybe it should be 0 because apparently you know nothing about this place. Like,
Yeah.
And how is that like even have anything to do with
I was like,
me?
can I get this ice cream on the flyer? And she's like, I don't know.
It was like one of those things where you're like, how does it have anything to do with me? I work here 0 days a month, like ever. As a matter of fact, I've never even been here ever.
Yeah.
So I was just hoping you, as the liaison to the restaurant, would at least be able to describe something is good here. She's like, the beer's good. I'm like, I don't drink beer. She's like,
What was the place called?
and she like didn't even like acknowledge the fact
Don't wanna
that
put them on
like
blast,
that like
never mind.
that had happened.
It was a brewery.
She
I don't
sort of-
know.
Oh, it's a brewery.
She just
Yeah.
like did this one like, yeah,
Yeah.
and just like went to get someone else's thing. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna take pictures then.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard there was ice cream.
So that was
So
day
I
one,
ordered one.
Michigan.
That was Michigan. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was Michigan. The
How was
American
that?
Library Association was a lot of fun. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool because, got to meet we got to meet like a bunch of cool
Pretty
people.
much made a new best friend, M. Howie 9.
Yeah.
He's in the chat right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Howie?
Pretty much a bro for life.
Let's see, like Mike is in the chat. Turbofish, he was there.
Mm-hmm.
We get to hang out with him and his family. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I'm sorry, I was sitting in traffic a lot.
I don't know people's names, so it's bad for me. But
Like Lucas, Sergeant Tanks.
those research students, I think Emily
The
and
research
something.
students, they
Emily
were
and
awesome.
something. So when they hear this in the podcast, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, Emily and something. That's us."
Right. Yeah, they had a great personality. They were like super fun to talk
Yeah.
to and stuff. I did get a message earlier today that from somebody that was like, "Hey, I saw you at the American Libraries Association, but I didn't want to bother you. You seem busy." And I'm like,
We probably
"Dude,
were.
I am never busy for like fans and stuff,
Yeah.
man. I'll take time. I will definitely take time just to let anybody out there know. Like, I'm more than happy to meet people.
Unless
and
he's
stuff.
drinking coffee, then back
I have
up.
the resting bitch face, So people are like, dude, he's super busy thinking about science or
It's not
something.
even busy. They just think you're angry. Yeah.
And I'm walking around in circles real fast,
I will say this.
like Mo or Larry,
Like,
whichever one.
Coming full circle in like a year, so like traveling, and then this year, people are definitely like, so turns out YouTube's a thing. Tell us more. Like I kept running into that.
That's the big deal.
Like the big companies.
Not even that.
Not the
just
big
like
companies, just
just
people.
either like people that are kind of big in the industry. They're like, they've now finally like. So I underestimated YouTube. And they're like, tell me
Right.
more.
Well, they underestimated the community, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. Is like.
Because a bunch of people were wearing aquarium co-op shirts and all that.
Well, it's almost always like the perspective when it comes to YouTube is that people are like, well, YouTube's a joke because it's like more often than not, a car's on fire or somebody throws a frisbee off of
yeah,
a,
Derek Runyon was there. I knew you were there. I just remember your name.
Yeah, Mr. Runyon himself.
Yeah.
But like YouTube has always had that. It's always had that reputation of like somebody throws a frisbee off of a skyscraper.
Dude,
and then,
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're gonna throw this basketball off of this thing, and then it's gonna go in there. Well, we had to try to do it like 400 times, but this is the one time it went in. So
Yeah.
we'll just show you that one.
Get those endorphin hits every 10 seconds.
Endorphins, bro.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing ultimately is like the YouTube community is huge. It's a vast community of like, let's say 99% awesome people, because I can't disregard that 1%.
I feel like that's true.
So, and that's really one of the big things. I think what I'm noticing from more and more people, whether it be a business person or just a regular Joe like me, just kind of wandering
Yeah.
around, they're like, so that's like an actual platform, right? Which I think also points out that's just like how much work YouTube has put into the actual platform itself. I think it's far from perfect. It's pretty easy to come up with some things to criticize YouTube, but I think it's also like, having been on it for like 10 years myself, it's like,
YouTube's
I remember
tripping.
when it was like pure chaos. Like it just like you couldn't even like look up a video you wanted to try
Yeah.
and find. You know what I mean? So
Did you guys get noticed at Interzoo?
Did we get what?
Noticed at Interzoo?
constantly hundreds and hundreds of thousands of fans, just like
There's no fans.
I can legit.
they pick. Yeah, I mean that's the weird thing. Their fans aren't even allowed into Interzoo.
They were coming in by helicopter.
Yeah, they were like getting dropped
up through
down
the sewer.
You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
You've seen the Blues Brothers. You've seen the end of Blues Brothers?
No, I've never.
I
no.
know.
Seen that?
Brother in
Okay,
Alaska.
Jimmy's seen that.
I'm
so I'll talk to
useless.
Jimmy. You've seen the end when all The GIs are all coming in and
Yeah.
right. It was like that. It was like that. Screaming, fans, crazy.
So I'm guessing no one noticed.
To be fair,
I'm overplaying, but yes, we definitely did run into some people.
Two.
What, like George Farmer and
Well, no, I didn't count like George Farmer. I didn't count like other people that were like on YouTube or something.
I think between Yuri and George Farmer, myself and Corey, we all kind of just fanboyed out on each other.
Yeah.
Which seems weird.
that.
All four of us like, oh my god, did you see that? I saw that shot you put up like I don't know last year. It was so cool, and it was awesome. I just want to tell you in person because I never commented on it because I was kind of busy. I don't know what I was busy doing. I was trying to get my frisbee shots off the skyscraper. I was trying to get that figured out. Yeah. But no, we definitely fanboyed out. That was, I think,
that was an entire 6-hour night that happened. Yes.
Yeah, it was a whole day pretty much.
But no, the two people that recognized was Andy Graff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the woman, I can't remember her name, from Portugal, but she did the aquascaping of wherever the aquascaping get together was. She did that booth.
The Aquaflora one?
Yeah. Yeah. But she knew at least the Aquarium Co-op brand.
That tank was awesome.
And she was like,
watching
"Oh,
footage
you guys
from
are
it.
awesome." And I was like,
There's
"Whoa."
There's
The
four.
really big one.
There's four there, and they were all really good.
To be honest,
And the giant reef was there too.
the reef was the coolest
That
thing.
reef was
Really?
That
It
reef.
I didn't
was-
see the reef.
I don't even like saltwater, and that thing was like, dang.
George
He
Farmer.
didn't
If you guys are wondering, George Farmer
Oh,
did a
yeah.
walkthrough video of that reef. I am not kidding you. Like just the contents of that reef. I think they said on that video is like $100,000.
I wouldn't doubt
I
it.
wouldn't. $200,000. I mean, it was just like that right there is like almost everything in it was like, oh, that's like $5,000 for
Yeah.
that right
I
there,
filmed it a
you know?
little bit, but it was mostly the back of people's heads because it was like 3 people deep to even get towards it. And I felt like you had to wait in line, and then you couldn't walk around it, so I could like wait in line to get to my little.
Yeah.
Oh look, I can show you this much. So I just kind of like did this move and held it up and like did the best I could.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a little crazy over there, and that tank was crazy.
That tank was nuts. I'm trying
Yeah.
to think of any. I mean, to be really honest with you, almost every tank there was like on point. You know
I
what I
liked
mean?
how they injected CO2. That little system they had.
Oh, did George show that?
No, you showed it.
Oh, did I? Did you watch my video? Is that why?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
He's spoiling the video.
Oh, from underneath.
Spoiler. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a closed. So that those Planet tanks are running on a closed loop system. I actually had to bug the guy and be like, "What are you doing? What is this?"
Runeman's
Yeah,
aquarium
some
guy.
of those tanks look like abundance of CO2, like too much CO2.
I'll be doing a video on how to do that for people at home.
Oh,
it costs
snap.
about $1.39, by the way.
Ouch.
I'll show you how to do it on the internet.
Don't share the secrets,
strong.
bro.
I'll share the secrets. I don't care. What are you gonna do?
Straw in your mouth.
Important question. Ryan says, anyone have ferrets?
I used to.
Is that legal?
I've never owned one. What?
I think
Is it
about.
legal here? Is it legal here?
Yeah, you can have a ferret.
I think about-
Are they illegal anywhere?
California.
I think about 14 years ago, we had 2 house ferrets that just lived in the house.
Were they
Is
potty
that a-
trained?
Oh,
Yeah, they would go to like their little. This is where I go poop and pee. They would just run amok.
All right.
So
Someone
That's-
else asked, how long can they leave their acrylic wool spawning mobs in their tank? Yeah, he used wool, not yarn.
Well, you can't have it be acrylic and wool.
I mean, wool. Just
Oh.
wool. I don't know why I said acrylic.
I don't know. They're gonna start rotting, but I would wager like years. Like they'll just deteriorate, but I don't know that they'll grow some bacteria, but I don't know that's a bad thing. And then think of it this way: like let's say you had a wool sock and you threw it like I don't know into a pond or a lake. It's probably still there like 4 years later. You're just like, man, this thing's super dirty.
yeah, wool has some. If it's actual wool, I mean, wool will last a really long time. It has some pretty
Yeah.
special characteristics.
The
to it.
only-
That's why it's all like hunting gear and camping
Yeah.
stuff is wool because it's.
The only possible thing I can think of would be like more prone to fungus, like from bacteria, maybe. I'm.
Yeah, but wool doesn't do that. That's kind of one of the things about wool,
It won't grow bacteria.
as far as I know.
It will grow bacteria because I did a bunch of research on wool shirts. They're the least.
You talking about pashmina?
I don't know what that
You're
is,
just talking
but
about some cheap garbage from Kmart.
yes, probably that.
Yeah, it's
But I was researching, and wool harbors the least amount of bacteria. It still does.
Right.
Nylon's like the most. And that's how we were talking about that. That's how I found out about that silver thread you weave into clothing to ward off bacteria.
We were talking about that?
I'm pretty sure we did. Maybe I was talking about it in my mind on the plane, but
I was probably
And you were standing
asleep.
right in front
they put metal. They can put this like
I
metal
was like
thread.
this. I was like,
and he was
and
talking.
Corey's just talking to the side.
That was most of the trip is me
Oh,
just
really?
talking to Joel's sleeping. But no, they can put this metal in. It's like a metal thread, and it wards off bacteria. That's how you make exercise clothing. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't put that in with your spawning mops. So
All right, so.
I don't know. Ryan was asking me, do they smell terrible? No, if you
ferrets?
take care of them, right?
I think
know.
it would smell terrible.
Oh,
but
the ferrets? You got to get them. You got to get them descented. You got to get their
Skunked.
deskunkified.
and if
So
you're
they
talking
will.
about the mops, just clean them every once in a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
yeah. You got to destinkify them if you got a ferret. And if
Yeah.
you've got wool, I would also recommend washing that at some point in time.
Yep.
Lanolin?
I don't know.
Like sheep's wool?
It's time for show and tell.
Yeah. I want one of those Ronald McDonald pens that you guys have.
Oh, you want
No.
one?
It's right here.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know about this pen?
Yes.
So we were at the Sarah booth, and they had really good candy.
Yep.
And so I was eating a bunch of their candy. And the first day I went there, I started stealing the candy because every time they had like these waiters, right? So to put in perspective, the event, like people were spending like $300,000, $500,000, $700,000 per booth, like insane amounts of money. Each one had like their own
$1 million booth.
baristas, cooks, like all this kind of stuff, right? And so I'd eat a piece of candy and I'd put the wrapper down, and within like 2 minutes, someone would come by and take it away.
You're just testing them now.
So then,
It was
like,
a full service.
so then every
Wow.
time you'd have like a few pieces of candy, they come refill it. So at which point it became, how much candy can I get into my backpack, and then keep refilling it.
Was it like German candy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They sent me some for Christmas one time. It was really good. And apparently they can't get it back into the U.S., long story short. But then I had to up the ante, and then it was how many Sarah pens I could get, because there was only like one per table. So we brought home 4.
Yeah, you stole it from the waiter.
Yeah.
One of them.
At one point, one of the people we were talking with like had to ask the waiter for another pen because he's like, "Where'd that pen go?"
It's Kobe stealing
They're
it.
sweet pens.
Yeah, they're nice pens, and I was like, "Oh, this
Yeah.
is nice. I need this."
I think. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to point out, and I kept pointing this out on my stream yesterday, as a reminder to people. Like,
And-
Corey and I weren't on vacation.
No.
Like we were gone, but we were not on vacation. We were working the whole entire time.
Is this the
So
only tchotchke you guys got?
we got some other tchotchkes. We'll do some videos on that stuff.
Not many though, but
Not-
Dorothy was saying
Not a lot.
Corey hasn't showed her
Well,
one.
One of the tchotchkes.
oh, I haven't shown her anything. Yeah.
One of the tchotchkes is right there.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
We'll talk about that stuff. But a lot of the, I think a lot of people were like, "Oh man, it was great that you're back from vacation." They've mentioned that to me, and I've been like, I just have to reiterate to people like, it was not a vacation. Corey and I worked the whole time. We did have a good time, but we were, working and networking and trying to bring, honestly, trying to bring new projects and stuff to the table. Well, basically YouTube, really.
I don't think we could have
You know?
worked that convention much harder.
I mean, there was days we were
Open to close every day.
open to close every single day. We were there before opening,
and then lining up dinners or stuff after.
and then lining up dinners afterwards. We were there when they turned off the lights at the convention every single time. Mm-hmm. Like, get out of
Well,
here.
in Chicago, we did open to close, right? Mm-hmm. But you guys didn't meet any fans or anything. You just
Well, I will say, like, the aquatic experience was like one room,
Yep.
and Interzoo, like, one of the rooms is probably between 6 and 10 times the size of the one aquatic experience room,
Yep.
and there's 12 of them.
wow.
Yeah.
They're not all aquatic, but
They're not
there's
all
a lot
aquatic,
of aquatic.
but they're all pet related
Is it
exhibitions.
like dog stuff too?
They mixed it up. Apparently, they used to do it before, where there was like 3 halls or 4 halls would be fish stuff, and then 3 or 4 halls would be like dog and cat stuff, and then one would be like bird stuff
Would
or
you
whatever.
say it's mainly fish though?
But they mixed it up. They like make sure that the layout is mixed up now, so people can actually like move around and not be all like crammed, all together. I wouldn't say that was like mostly fish, but it was pretty evenly distributed from, you know what I mean? Like there was like a lot of dog stuff.
Yeah, there was
But then
100 vendors just for leashes.
Right. But there's 2,500 vendors and 4,000 booths that were all like not small.
No
There's a bunch of
joke.
small ones, but
Like the Fluwal-Hagen booth, bigger than my house.
the Fluwal-Hagen was bigger than my house.
Yeah.
Yes. And it had a big like circular seating area with a bar inside of it, and you could just ask for food. And
Yeah, we got
like,
sausages.
Would you like sausages? Would you like cold cuts? Would you like a snack? Would you like a amuse-bouche? Would you like?
I can't believe you're
would you
alive
like
after the amount of
some-
cappuccinos you drank in that week. He was pulling no punches on cappuccinos.
Well, they could just give you cappuccino.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. There's no payment. Just like, would you
That
like
face
another?
right now was
Does it seem
hilarious.
like? Does it seem like I did? I drink a lot of cappuccinos.
From
Is
a
it
guy
a
that
lot?
doesn't drink well, to be fair, I did drink
You
one.
got to drink 88 cups
Oh,
to
he
kill
drank
yourself.
I drank one because I was like, it's free. If it's terrible, I'm not out any money. So I drank one, and it wasn't terrible, but I didn't order another one, obviously.
Yeah.
But there was lots of free alcohol and stuff like that too. And here they didn't even, I swear, like almost none of the places had Coke, so I just kept getting Sprite. Because water was a train wreck.
Water is a train wreck. In
Carbonated
England.
and warm.
Or Europe, not England. Well,
Yeah.
England too.
There's no ice in that country apparently, so it was.
Getting just water is a disaster in Europe. And I pointed this out yesterday on my show, but it's a disaster. Like almost every single thing is carbonated to some degree. And even when you ask for like not carbonated water, sometimes you just get lightly carbonated water because they're like, this is the least carbonated we have. And you're like,
That's so gross.
can I just get
I hate carbonated
some water? Oh, and one of the weird things is that one of the things that's kind of crazy. So like in America, like you sit down at a table and like bring you some waters. I mean, unless the place is like a disaster, and then maybe they don't know what water is, but that's pretty rare.
Even then,
But in Europe, it's like, oh no, like you gotta order some water, and it's a menu item,
and it's just as expensive as soda.
if not more.
It was
There's
more
actually
sometimes.
one place it was like 10 pence more
Yeah.
to get water, like still water, no carbonation in it, was more than the Coca-Cola that
How was
Corey
the
got.
food?
It was up and down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say it was
Yeah.
either the best thing you've ever had, or maybe the worst thing you've ever had. There was no
Right.
like, that was solid. It was just like,
There were,
oh my god, I want more. Or,
yeah,
ugh.
yeah,
I mean, there were nights we didn't even get to eat, so that sucked.
that did happen.
As I told my wife, we foraged. She sent snacks for the plane, and one meal was made up with 1/4 of a package of cashews, 1/4 of a package of peanut butter M&Ms, some Sarah candy, and some combos.
Right. Which that was because we went to, I guess, I don't want to spoiler alert any,
You can tell people.
any release videos, but I mean, I'll have a video
Build
of
the
it,
hype train.
and you'll have a video of it.
Yeah.
But we actually met the guy, and I don't want to say his name because he was like, he didn't want his face to be on YouTube or whatever. But we met the guy who has bred pretty much every puffer.
Not every puffer. Only 27 species.
Only
27.
27 or
But he keeps
28.
30, 36 of them?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
working on more of them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something. This guy knew every single thing about puffer fish. I mean,
Yeah.
if you stumped him on something, I would freak out. Because
mean-
if he was on Jeopardy and it was all puffers all the way across, he would just,
He would be the H&R Block guy.
yeah, he would just dominate.
I thought I knew a decent amount, and then I was ashamed to be in the same room as him.
Oh, man.
Like, it was brutal bad. Like, that guy knew. I mean, he's only 25, but his life work is breeding puffer. And, well, let me take that back. Breeding fish. that dude was breeding other ridiculous cool stuff too. But yeah, it made me sad that I've even given a presentation on puffers after watching his presentation on puffers. So yeah. So
Get back to work, kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why we didn't have dinner that night. It was the whole reason I was talking about that. But we're on our way back from that, and it was like, we got to try and get food now.
We got in at like 11 or 11:30.
The guy that was driving us was like, we cannot ask him to like take us somewhere to go get food at this point because we kept him out all day
and all night.
Was he a fish guy though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Andy, which we're gonna try and go back to see him. He imports lots of like wild and rare stingrays and arowanas, and he was trying to pawn like a platinum arowana off on me, and he's like, "What do you want, man? I can get it." And but we didn't go see his place because he's rebuilding for the next import order or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so we'll try to go back when in August maybe. We're trying to make some things happen. Ooh, the Churro Girl is having homemade lumpia. That's what we get to have tonight too. Katie's making it.
Oh, I'm hungry.
Well,
yeah.
No, it's because Katie said homemade lumpia, and she said homemade lumpia.
Never mind then. I'm a little.
I know
I'm a little
you
behind.
guys are both like out of it right now.
Mostly it's because I normally
Yeah, he's more out of it.
normally I wake up at like 10 or 11 a.m.
Yeah.
and then I'm fresh. But now I'm waking up at 5 a.m.
And it doesn't help that it's hot.
What's the most epic thing you guys saw in Germany?
The Interzoo.
That's a cop out.
It's not a cop out. It was
It is a
crazy.
cop-out. That's the reason you're there.
It
What
was
is the
crazy to
craziest thing?
individualize, like
Everything that's
to individualize.
I know what it is for
Interzoo
me.
by itself is sort of a rude thing to do because it is just that big of a scope. I mean, it's like
Sure. I mean, there's a million amazing things, but like what's the thing that you think you won't see again except for Interzoo maybe then? Or at least, like for me, I know.
probably Oliver Knott.
Well, that's
I'm
true.
probably not going to hang out and have another conversation with Oliver Knott.
I mean, you guys were hugging all the time.
I could see that.
He's a huggy guy, man. He was stoked to meet me for some reason. I was like,
That was bizarre that
was
he
kinda
was
put
all
off.
about Joel,
I
and
was
then
kind of
like
put off.
never
'cause
once.
He would be like, he
acknowledged
was like
me.
running like way far away, and he like spotted me and was like,
Yeah.
"Hey!" And I'm like, "Oh, hey, man!" And then he like was like super busy, so he like ran off. I'm like, it's kind of odd. I'm like, all right, man. He's a super nice guy, definitely, and definitely talented. Because I was watching some of the stuff that he was doing in person, and I'm like, oh, it's no joke. Oh, it's no joke. Like that guy
By the
actually
way,
knows what he's doing. It's
turns
not like,
out
it's not like a trick. He ain't tricking anybody.
If you actually know Oliver, everyone calls him Ollie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not at that point yet.
Yeah, me either. I just know that tricks, and I can pretend like I'm in the crowd. Oh yeah, you know Ollie. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But my coolest thing that I think I won't see again was those freshwater blennies. My mind's still blown.
Those are sweet.
Oh,
Because I didn't think they actually existed till I was like,
It's right there.
also the puffer guy had freshwater blennies in the flesh.
Oh, yeah,
in the flesh.
and he had him just in a tank too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't
like,
just a picture
"Oh, yeah,
on the
they're in
internet,
here."
like, and he's like, do you know what the fish says? And I was like, is that a freshwater blenny? He's like, yes. It's like, oh my gosh, you have it
It
all.
makes you look so bad. It's hilarious.
He didn't make me look bad. I think most people don't know what it is. They're like, oh, it's a goby. And I was like, is that a freshwater blenny?
Yeah, and the Native American tank. Whew.
Yeah.
The rainbow
Jimmy gets all the
tank.
firsthand,
Yeah.
Yeah, the blennies were in there.
you know. Yeah, Jimmy gets all the firsthand
So I'll spoil
footage.
it for you guys
yeah.
a little bit. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, the rainbow shiners were really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, seeing those because I'm from North America.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
like,
I thought it was cool.
I mean, I think they're cool fish. I was like, yeah, cool. But I've seen those because I'm kind of from here. Like,
I don't
it's
know if
not
they were
that
so
rare.
dull when they're young.
Yeah.
They look,
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
They're like the worst
Tasty.
roseline sharks ever when they're
Exactly.
young.
yeah.
Like, yeah. So,
Yeah, but they get dope. Yeah, they get really cool when you.
And
throw
the
'em
fish
up.
store you guys went to, that's pretty sweet.
That fish
The
store.
setup, yeah.
That fish store we went to was like, oh, cool. We're like going to a fish store, and then we're like driving through this little hamlet, right?
And it's supposed to be like underneath the house or
It
something?
is underneath the house.
okay.
Yeah, and so we like pull up to this like dope house with like all this like cool woodwork on it.
Oh, I
Just
didn't
like
see
this
the woodwork.
little. I got some shots of it, so
I think
I'll
it's
pass
the
those on to
equivalent of
you.
like if you showed up to my house and then like this studio was the fish store. Like, it just did not belong. You're just like in someone's
I
neighborhood
don't
and you're
know.
like,
I mean, their yard. the yard and the house were cool in their own right.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, there's a sign out front that there's a fish store here. And you're like,
It was bizarre.
okay, cool. And so we like go around back and then go under, and then it's like,
It's like going in their basement.
yeah, we went into their basement basically, and then come to find out, like the guy is like the shrimp doctor basically.
Yeah, he wrote this. Well, he wrote several books. I only brought one out today, but it's all in German. But Michael Wolfinger, and he worked with 2 other like actual doctors / scientists / whatevers, and they've been documenting infinite shrimp disease. There are more diseases in here than I ever knew existed. Like, people usually talk like there's 3. Try like 73. And, you know, there's all kinds of fixes and that kind of stuff. And so I got a book and had him sign it. And he's got like 40 different shrimp foods based on what ailment the shrimp have. And
That reminds me,
yeah.
one thing we learned about Europe while we were there,
Yes.
you have to write the date down if you sign something.
Apparently, yeah, that was a big deal.
Apparently that's a big deal. Like, he wasn't going to sign it until we could figure out what the date was. Because he didn't know what the
Oh
date
yeah,
was.
because he
was like,
crossed the shirt. I mean, he was filming. Then there was a shirt on the table, and there was a bunch of dates on it, with signatures.
oh, yeah. You have to, like, have the date
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah, it was,
It was kind of interesting.
But it's
no water
super-
and put a date down if you
Yeah.
sign something.
but it's super cool. And there's talk. He's like, "Do you want to convert it to English?" And I was like, "Yes, I'd like to be a part of that project." But there's crayfish, shrimp, even the vampire shrimp and like the bamboo shrimp, and there's infinite different bacterial and parasite and internal parasites that have been identified and how to treat them, which is kind of crazy because typically I feel like in America we only treat 2 or 3 things, and so yeah, I was nerding out because we were just at a fish store, and then I was kind of asking about like just some shrimp stuff, and it turns out, like, through the interpreter, because he didn't speak English, like, oh yeah, that's this guy, and then he's like in Amazonas magazine, he's got this going on. There's a shrimp book that Amazonas published that I've never seen in English, and I got that too, and he's got another book. So I don't know, to me that's kind of a defining thing. When you start cranking out books left and right, you probably know a thing or two. So yeah, I don't know, that was cool though. I just wish I could read it. I can look at the pictures and I can go, yeah, it's got this
Can
thing.
you use your phone to?
I haven't tried it yet, but
live?
that's why I was getting it, because I was like, maybe Google Translate can do this for me, and it'll just like
I was
spit out a
admiring the
medication.
lids they had too.
Oh, the slider
the
lids?
sliding lids.
Yeah.
The sliding lids?
Yeah, for that.
They use like some of them were aluminum, but they had like plastic track. Kind of like when I made it was an old blog article, like, so you could
what?
slide the lids on the tanks back and forth. It was basically just a 2-channel system, so that one would pass over the other one.
Oh, like on the top? Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought you were talking about like the fronts.
No.
Top.
Yeah.
Well, when we were there, he was all enthusiastic about the fact that you could like slide the thing. So
Yeah.
Well, he was
saying,
enthusiastic about how they stack tanks.
Yeah, they
Because
went 5
wide.
high.
they were too high though.
They were. 4, I
many.
think, would have been
4 would've
like,
been good,
ooh,
yeah.
that's a good idea.
The
5
one down
was
low
like,
is like you were either gonna kick the one down there, or it was just too crazy to get up to the
Yeah.
top
Did
one.
you ask him what size tanks they were? Like,
They were all miscellaneous sized, so
They were like,
it would have been a really long conversation. But we found out that he was the shrimp guy when we were there, because it was like, you know, we're kind of like filming around, and it's like kind of typical. I mean, like good stock,
Yeah.
but very typical stock. You know what I mean? Like kind of stuff you would see, even though there was more variety.
I would say there's a lot of nano stuff there.
It was a small,
Yeah.
there's nano store. There's not, I don't think there's many stores that do big stuff in Germany.
I have no idea.
Like, I don't think that people have like a lot of real estate.
Yeah, I
'Cause
don't
I
know.
know a lot of people I was talking to in Germany were like, yeah, you Americans all want big tanks, you know, and I'm like,
Right.
yeah, make it bigger.
You're dang right, I
Make
do.
it bigger, bruh. So yeah, there was a bunch of nano stuff and those kinds of things, but there was like definitely good variety there. But then it was like, why does he have like 12 different kinds of shrimp? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He had like oranges, he had blues, he had like 4 different kinds of crystal shrimp, you know, that kind of stuff. And you're like, you don't normally just see that in a store. Like, what's going on here? And it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of the reason why Andy brought us there.
I'm
It's
a
because
shrimp
the
guy.
guy's a shrimp guy. Yeah. And he's like, Dr. what was his name? Dr.
I don't know if he was a doctor, but
Michael Wolfinger.
Michael, yeah. But it was super cool, and it was good people to meet, though. I felt like, oh man, this guy is super passionate. And while we were there, customer brought their shrimp in, and they were going to put it under the microscope and do all that. So he's like actively diagnosing, and just known as like, oh, your shrimp are sick, bring it to this guy. He'll diagnose and treat it. And he's got all kinds of foods and medicines.
Dang, how convenient would that be, just to have a shrimp like that?
In your local neighborhood in Nuremberg.
I would imagine that you probably pay him a little bit for it. So,
or maybe it's like,
convenience aside, it's more just like a great opportunity that he's there. So
maybe you just buy the medicine and then it's like the payment. Like, I don't know how long it takes to diagnose. I mean, he might just be like, oh, it's this, or it might be like, oh, give me weeks. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Robert Jackson, welcome back. Some Stillwater money. $2.99
from Barbara.
Yeah,
we need some of that Stillwater money, you know.
Thirsty. I do want to kind of always call water Stillwater though.
Stillwater.
Now. Yeah. Ooh, look at that Stillwater. That one guy, Dan. I got a few free BioWheel hang-on back filters. Anything I can do to make them better? I know you guys don't like them, or should I just throw them away? I don't recommend throwing them away.
Yeah, throwing them away would be a huge waste.
You can definitely hot rod them. I've done that in a video. You can even, like, you can take the little plastic trays that come with them, fill them up with, like, Seachem Matrix, a.k.a. pumice, a.k.a. anything in the world, really. And you can put air stones, and that'll kind of turbocharge them a little bit, or sponge, or anything. A filter really is just a way to move water through some media. So I wouldn't throw them away. I would give them away, but only if you already had, like, oh, I've got a billion AquaClear filters and I'm never going to use these. That might be a reason. Otherwise, let them sit in your garage until you make a new fish keeping buddy, or you set up 3 more tanks because you're insane, you know, that type of thing. Or until we release our crazy idea video we came up with in Germany that may or may not ever happen because we're lazy. So yeah, we're trying to think of a way to do something with them, because they're very cheap too. You can get them on sale for like $25 sometimes on like Amazon and stuff. And so we were trying to think of like, what's the cheapest hang on back, and then we want to mod this thing to make it do something. And can we make it do it? I don't know. That I don't know yet. So, JH Aquatics was saying, hopefully you can bring some of these products to the U.S. There is some. I've got the contact info. This guide I fell in love with from Dennerla, and they sell it for like €5. And to me, I thought this thing would have been like $30 or $40 because it's a super cool aquascaping thing, and they put it out like once a year.
Oh wow, look at those pictures.
Yeah, it's wicked cool. And there's even like a kids section in the back. Like there's aquascaping, there's all kinds of stuff. And they're like, yeah, and it's in English, by the way. It's not even in German, it's in English. And they're like, yeah, we could totally get that to you. So they asked me how many I wanted, and I was like, I don't know, like 100 maybe. I don't know how well they'll sell. But we got to get them to the U.S. and that type of thing. So if they actually do sell well, yeah, they're really nice. Like I was blown away how nice they were.
Yeah, Lookup did all the pictures there.
So for €5, I was like, this thing could have been a $50 book, and people probably still would have bought it. And so I figure with importing fees and the conversion and that kind of stuff, the thing might have to be like $15 or $20 with shipping or something like that. 'Cause it's not exactly easy to ship without mangling it. But we'll bring in like 100, and if they sell, great. If they don't, they don't. So
I'm excited for that book.
Yeah, these will sell.
That's what I said.
That's
I was
amazing,
like,
yeah.
how are these not already in the U.S.?
Chris Lookup was making us take all of his books home with us.
Yeah, we did get a lot of books from Chris Lookup, which a.k.a. the Shrimp King, if you know who that is.
Our luggage was twice as heavy because of Chris.
Yeah. Each day he'd hand us a few more books to put in the backpack, and it was...
but I don't know. I was talking with him, and he might be coming out this way, which would be cool.
We're working on some stuff, so maybe one day he'll sit right there. He wants to come out.
That'd be cool.
We'll see if we can do it. Flash scan dry foods for leopard frog plecos. What do we feed this dry? anything.
I don't feed any dry food.
Massivore pellets I know works. Oh, and Rapache. Well, Rapache's not dry, quote unquote, but Massivore pellets I think are my go-to. They're a little stinky though, to be fair. But that's the one. Flynn's Fish Forum, $2 super chat. Thanks, Flynn.
Smiley face.
Smiley face.
Random guy was asking, he's getting a 120 gallon tomorrow, and he was wondering what to stock in it. And I thought, oh, interesting question, because we normally get the like, what would you put in it? Not I'm getting it.
Fill that tank.
So I'd be happy to answer this question and then see what you think.
All right.
You get a 120 gallon tank. I would say do not worry about the fish at all at this point. I would think 100% about your filtration, your hardscape, and then what biotope you're kind of building, right? Because you're going to have to cycle the tank. You're going to have to get it set up. You want to make sure that the temperature's doing the right things, all that kind of stuff. Even if I sort of air quote insta-cycle my tanks, it's still like I'm not going to dump a ton of fish in there right away or anything like that. So I wouldn't be too stressed out about that. But I would definitely be building the biotope, let it set up, let it kind of mature a little bit before you go really adding fish. But like if it's a planted tank, I would really start to look at, specific plants that are available to you. So an easy recommendation would be to like go to the aquarium co-op if you're near here, and then go like look at the plants that you really want to grow.
Just fly over.
Like, yeah, just fly. Yeah. Or, whatever local store you've got or whatever, and then go kind of look at some of the plants that you want to grow. Like this aquarium guide would be super helpful.
If it wasn't like the only one in the U.S.
Well, I'm
sure there's more than one. Yeah.
It's one of two because I got one.
Oh, I'll have to destroy yours.
Why?
Fire.
One of one.
Burn.
It's rude, bro. It's rude.
Yeah.
It's unkind. It was a gift. You don't destroy gifts,
You don't destroy your own gifts. Yeah.
It's still rude. But like this book would be perfect, or I mean you could even do like an online search or something. Like you could go to aquariumcoop.com or whatever,
by the way,
other online thing you might want to go to, and kind of figure out like maybe what plants you want to do, and then what kind of biotope you're going to build, right? And then you can definitely move from there and then go like, oh, what fish live there? Ooh, what fish live in the upper area, the middle area, and the bottom? Okay.
If only there was an app for that.
Start working out. There isn't an app. There isn't an app for that yet. Yeah. Heiko Blair is trying to put together that app, though. Mm-hmm. But you could, you can.
There's
you Googleize it.
Indiegogo or something. It's like a GoFundMe to raise the money to make that project happen. Mm-hmm. I don't have a link for it, but
it would take. I'm saying it does take a couple minutes of research or something like that. But it's worth it to start learning about it and doing the work. Mm-hmm. Got a big conversation earlier today with some people about I'm like, why are you disregarding other people's work? You know what I mean?
Disregarding other people's work? Yeah.
Like the work, the practice, the training, the studying, all that kind of stuff.
Disregarding as in like...
It doesn't really have anything to do with aquariums or anything like that.
Yeah, but they were just like not seeing that people put work in. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Right. The practice, the training, the studying.
It's like me saying like, I could be Tiger Woods.
Right.
Like, give me like 6 months. I got
the
that.
guy just like hits balls around.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, like 100 million times.
Yeah, over the last 30 years.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I would definitely recommend that, like, if you are setting up a tank, to anybody that's setting up a tank, but because, random guy was asking, if you are setting up a tank, to start going about it that way and really start learning about, what you're building, long term. It's like you're going to build a skyscraper, you got to build a foundation, you got to put in all the stuff and do the steps ahead of time. And it should be the same thing with an aquarium, which is also one of those things that like a lot of the people that, I had interactions with at Interzoo, it's that like the people are putting in the work, they're putting in the time, like the aquaflora tanks and stuff like that. They've been grown for between 8 and 9 months ahead for the show.
And they truck them in.
And they truck them in.
That's my next question. How did they get that there? What that looking?
They
like
truck
that?
them in. They truck them in, and then that giant reef tank had been set up there for I don't know how long, but a long time for it to be running perfectly for the show and stuff. You know, whereas like, you know, people like Corey and I, we just walk up, you know, and the only reason I say that is because it's our own experience of like walking up and like, oh, here it is. Cool. That's awesome. Look in there a little bit and then be like, oh, there's another thing we got to go to, you know. You know, so some of the things that could have taken a whole year to put together, you know, we experience them for 15 seconds or something and then move on, you know. So I think that's one thing that I think a lot of us need to kind of focus on a little bit more is just like the time and dedication to really set up a specific environment for what we're doing, you know. And that's definitely something I noticed when we were at Interzoo. It's like you got really expensive fish in a display tank in a convention, and they're not worried about it because it's like this is set up, this is mature. It wasn't just escaped 10 minutes ago.
I haven't ever seen it done that way in the United States. I've always seen it like stuff comes in.
I've seen it like a couple places, but it's pretty rare. Yeah,
it's always like, oh, just put all this stuff together.
Yeah.
It all looks immersed grown.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Like it was a different playing field, in my opinion.
Big Texas Tanks. I just want to read his comment because he was in the video.
Yeah, he was there.
He says, "Hey guys, good to have the duo back again. Great talk in Michigan, Kobe. Was great to meet you guys. Any chance I could get an email from you guys for some Scootin' Fruity info?"
Whoa, that's pretty awesome.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Holy.
We have a fan with the Fish Fam license plate.
That's pretty
That
gangster.
is
I'm not gonna say who it is or what state it's in, but
Yeah, that's pretty gangster.
First.
Scootin' Fruity info. Just shoot the store, like team@aquariumcoop.com, and one of my employees will help you out. I'll try and get on that as well, but I don't have like that much. I have more info, but I don't have that much info. Like even though I talked to the guy who was breeding them. By the way, the guy that was breeding those puffers, the people that sent me the puffer video of like the two puffers biting on the female, that's him.
that was him.
Yeah, like just
That was
like a
crazy.
year and a half ago.
Yeah, we found that out while we were there.
Yeah.
Like he's like, yeah, I got like a video up somewhere or whatever. I was like,
I was like, I think I've seen your videos. And he described him like, yes, I've seen that exact video.
that's you. Okay,
Yeah,
we're here.
It's like him and his buddy. But yeah, so the problem is, I can tell you right now, like what I learned. What I learned is he breeds them at 5.5 pH, so that's brutal. And then you have to get them at least 3 or 4 years old to breed them. That's brutal. The fry are ridiculously small, and so you have to use specific strains of paramecium, so that's brutal. And then
They're sensitive to light.
yes, the eggs are sensitive to light. Yep, so that's another layer. He likes to use a med that's really hard to get in the USA, which is called acroflavin. So that's another barrier that's like, oh, geez. And then they're predatory on each other when they're younger. So, but otherwise,
that's another barrier.
they don't have teeth problems.
Because even ones that were only hatched like 3 days apart,
would eat the small
will
ones.
eat the small ones.
So they don't have teeth problems, and there's like no aggression really once they grow up. So they are like the perfect puffer, except for the fact that they're like ridiculously hard to breed, and you got to do quite a bit of work. But hey, who's not up for a challenge?
It's possible though.
So
So you have to get more than just the 5 because you said in the video that you need a lot, like kind of like a cichlid tank to
spread out the aggression on some of the puffers, but these ones are a little bit laid back. In theory, they're sexable, but the trick that he didn't have his adults there, but I saw pictures, and supposedly there's like a black band on the tail, but I don't see that on any of ours. So either A, we have all males, or B, none of them are mature enough yet.
Oh yeah.
So there could be that.
Yeah, they could just be 2 years old.
Yeah, or a year old, or who knows, right? So I don't want to like just write off like, oh god, I better buy them all because I still haven't found a girl.
I think a big reality, like with your fish, I think from, all the learnings we did there. Would be just kind of like, just take care of them.
That's what I was thinking. I need to let them
mature.
marinate for like another year or two.
Yeah, it's like just keep letting them mature, and eventually you'll like, it's like, talking with the guy who's like, eventually you just see it. Because you've been around them so much. It's like male and when I was there, I was like, yeah, it's like male and female shrimp, and he's like, yeah, that's perfect. It's like it's hard to if you don't know what you're looking for, and then eventually you're kind of just like, yeah, that's a male, that's a female, that's a male, that's a female, da 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 da. Like it just becomes second nature. So I think with the Scoot and Fruities that you got is just keep them healthy, keep them growing, and then because we actually did see some of the breeding behavior when we were there. Right?
I got it on video, yeah.
And
it's for the hairy dragon puffer.
Which I don't think is exactly the same behavior, but it's like, it's obvious that like there's some mating going down. You're like, that's completely different from their normal behavior. Like, okay. Yeah.
So Big Texas says they have Aquaflavin at a store he works at.
I mean, to the best of my knowledge, they shouldn't. Like, that's one of those things of like...
And Cole says he remembered getting Aquaflavin for... back in the day for turtle ailments. So.
Last time I looked into it, which was like 2 years ago, because I kept finding old fish breeders that were like, yeah, it's the bee's knees, you need Aquaflavin. I'm like, I kept running into like, that's the answer. And it ran into a wall of has to have a vet, which I know enough vets that they'll just write me the script, but that doesn't do me any good when I'm like, yeah, Aquaflavin is the silver bullet. By the way, you guys can't get it, so it doesn't really help me to like, I really try to use meds that are accessible for a lot of people. So, yeah. But it's supposed to be the best thing to get rid of velvet as well. That's the reason I was originally tracking it down. I was like, what solves velvet? Because I was running into it a bit for a while. So
KG asked, how's the sump doing? Sumperfy.
Good.
It looks good.
Yeah, tank's still clear. I need to swap out at least the first pad. Got to do that one of these days. But speaking of swapping out the pad, apparently Germany doesn't have filter pads.
Apparently they don't.
Yeah, which
Very
we thought they were just pulling our chain. They have the filter floss, but no filter pads, like for real.
Lots of Matin filters.
No, they don't. Or Hamburg Matin filters, but not Metalamat. They don't have that either.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't have Metalamat or...
And maybe that's why they don't have the pads, is because they have so many Matin filters. Maybe that's the reason.
Could be. Seemed like most people had some kind of Matin filter or something like that,
They were very, very popular there. So, it goes to show it works. Anything in Los Angeles y'all would come to?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm trying to think. There's no clubs in LA, I don't think. It's like 4 hours south of...
I don't know. Somebody was telling me a while ago that there was a convention in LA, but I can't... I obviously...
Like 6 or
I'm
7.
about to say...
Yeah, it's rough.
I'm about to say obviously, but I mean, I don't recall, because it was just somebody made an offhand comment. I think one of the big conventions might be there. Maybe MACNA at some point?
I don't know.
Or something? I don't know.
There's nothing I can think of that draws me there yet.
Yeah.
Other than just lots of people.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if there was like...
If we were driving, maybe.
Some kind of aquarium convention or something going on down there, I would go. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy to get to LA from here. Same time zone and everything, which is sort of welcome at this point.
Yeah. It was getting confusing.
We might have a short trip up to Vancouver, which would almost be like, oh, are you kidding me? We just drive over there?
Yeah.
Like we're going to get groceries?
Are you going to get Black Knight Rams or something?
What's that?
Did we see any?
Why are you guys going to Vancouver?
Secret trips. I don't think we can. I don't know that we can actually announce it yet.
Can't tell you what that is, but we might be going to Vancouver. Which the reason I bring that up is because Flynn threw down a little $2 smiley face into the super chat action.
Flynn.
We might actually go up to Flynn's area instead of the other way around, because Flynn always comes down.
So following that, Nathan asked, are you guys coming to the Bay Area anytime soon?
I will be in the Bay Area. I don't know. Let me see.
The Bay? Oh, yeah, because you're doing like a trip, right?
Let's see.
We had plans to go to the Bay Area, Napa Valley area, and then it got canceled.
I still want to go.
Yeah.
I still want to go down there.
Today's the 15th?
Yeah, I think.
What's up, Dean?
16th.
So
16th.
Dean's in the house.
Today's the 15th.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's 15.
I'm on a different work schedule, so it's a little weird.
This weekend's chaos. Next weekend, or the following weekend, Jimmy and I are going camping.
Oh, Jimmy has to work.
Oh, Jimmy's not going to go?
I didn't say he wasn't going. I said he had to work.
Weird.
It's going to be backpacks and or batteries and laptop.
June, the weekend of 15th, 16th, I'll be in the Bay Area.
June 15th, 16th.
Yeah, so a month from today, basically. I'll be down there, but Kobe won't be there because he says he hates everyone in the whole world.
If I'm going to be anywhere that weekend, it'll be Super Zoo.
August is kind of crazy. I'll be in Idaho, then I'll be in Alaska. Yeah, I don't know. Be around.
Are you even free to go to Germany if we have to go back in August?
Well, they better fit it into my schedule.
Oh, okay. We'll figure it out then.
I don't know. The week that they said was
you were
open.
free?
Mm-hmm. Unless they go moving it around, and then
Could happen.
y'all's tripping.
It's only been an hour.
What?
What do you mean it's only
The
been an hour?
show. I felt like it's been 2 hours, but
Oh,
just saying.
Are you crying?
here
Are
again
you
today.
crying?
It's hot in here. That's why.
It's hot everywhere today, not just in here.
no. It was
When
hot
you gonna
yesterday,
when are
not
you gonna
today.
install some rad like ventilation or something?
What?
I don't know.
I don't even have any parts here, so
Yeah. Sunya
dunno.
with the $5 super chat. I am coming.
Thank you
to-
very much, Sunya. Sunya, by the way, came a new Patreon on mine yesterday. So
Nice.
Tip of the hat. Tip of the hat.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Without the Patreons, man, I wouldn't be able to be here today.
I'm going to Minnesota.
I would have jumped off a cliff. That's what I mean.
September.
September.
I don't know what day yet,
September?
but
Where
we're
you going?
speaking Minnesota.
Oh, that's right.
That's the one we might
That's
drive to.
The road trip one.
We
right?
might do a road trip all the way to there. I don't remember the name of the club, but I'm supposed to speak there, and I said yes.
It's probably like
So-
Twin Cities or Shakopee.
Probably.
Shakopee Fish Club.
Yeah.
Shackleby.
Yeah,
I don't
Shakopee.
know. So, ooh, Dan Squire says no stamina, Jimmy.
That's right.
Jimmy does cry if I threaten like an 8-hour live stream. He's like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do it.
8-hour live stream.
I complained for like an hour.
That's what they need. They
coming
need
at
good
you.
Wi-Fi. I would live stream for 8 hours on a plane. That would kill the time. May as well make use of it.
I would definitely live stream on a plane if you could pull that off.
These flights didn't even have Wi-Fi. I couldn't even like buy it.
Yeah, oh, no, one of them did.
Not the 8-hour or 10-hour ones or whatever.
Yeah, the one over did. To France via Atlanta.
I see.
What is that? Atlanta?
Atlanta.
Yeah, but that one,
Atlanta.
I don't even think that one had seat power.
That one. No, that was the good plane. That was the only good plane we were on.
Oh.
It was the one that went from Atlanta to Paris. And the one we were supposed to come
That's
back
good.
on, the one we were supposed to come back on was not the plane that we were supposed to be on because that was supposed to be the brand new one. And we got downgraded some crusty old junky 777. Joke of a plane. Disaster. Air France sucks. Hashtag.
That's why they're striking.
It's not their fault, but that's why I was about to
I'm
say.
not going to
that's why
say it's
they're on
not their
strike.
fault. 2 planes distinctively were using duct tape.
There was duct tape involved. Yes.
And by the way, that seat where you were like laying down all the way in my face,
I was
I
not
had
laid
broken
back
parts.
any farther than anybody else.
you were.
No, it wasn't.
It was like, it's going to sound like I'm making a small deal out of it, but it was like clearly
You're making a
2
small deal out of
or
it?
a big deal.
No.
A
Sir,
big deal out of it.
excuse me. Hold on a second. Before you just walk away from that.
Yeah.
You're making a big deal
It
out
was
of it.
2 to
Mine didn't
3
go back
inches
any
further
than-
back than the other people.
No way.
Yes.
But anyhow, I had rude guy next to me, and then I had sleepy, beefy dude, like bodybuilder beefy dude, like
yeah.
he was all elbowing me, and then he was like, he was sleeping this way, and he had like the mask on and headphones on and stuff, and was like, I think I caught Ebola from him. I think
Oh,
'Cause I'm
is that why
dying.
you're sick right now?
So you got Ebola and aphids.
I had aphids on my face yesterday, but yeah, I got a bit of the crud. I don't know. I got a cold or something.
I thought I was getting the crud, but turns out, immune system over level 9,000. Fought it right off. Vexing cat. There is a guy in Hawaii crossbreeding different types of gouramis. Yellow to opaline, making lavender offspring? I haven't seen that. In general, I'm probably not a huge fan just because those gouramis are kind of mean. And so I'm not excited. It'd be like crossing a jaguar and a tiger or something. Be like, yeah, still not good.
Yeah.
I want to film that, though.
I don't really care.
I mean, they might look super cool, in which case I'm interested. But I'm just
I'm just not one of those people that even believes that there is a pure line of anything out there.
Of anything?
Anything. No.
All right.
I mean, you'd really have to get into some strong genetic and then being able to test over and 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 over again. And by the way, when I say that, it's way more over and overs than what I just said to be able to prove any kind of genetic clarity in any kind of line bred anything.
That's why I didn't fight it.
You have to take like Steve's word. I don't know who Steve is. He's imaginary, but you have to like take this guy's word on it. You know, oh, these are 100% pure King Kong shrimp. And you're like, is that the scientific name of them? Yeah, King Kong. And you're like, yeah, the trust is strong here. I'm sure you really, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't. To answer that question, I'm like, I don't care if people are crossbreeding stuff, personally.
Yeah, I don't care. Do what you want.
I'm like, if they're cool, I'm like, yeah.
If they're cool, eventually I'll see them. That's the thing. Is like
That's a good point.
Stuff gets crossed all the time.
Yeah.
99% of the time, it's not very cool looking though, and that's where you're like, oh, I never saw that. Yeah, it wasn't that cool.
Well, it's like Chihuahuas are line bred, you know, but they're like
dumb and stupid, and I wish they
And
weren't
yet-
my pets.
You
That's not true at all.
You
I
wish
love
they
them.
were all here right now.
I think I spent more time talking about my dogs than I did fish while I was gone. every
Very
time. So the best part of the trip for me was trolling Joel because he had no internet and I had internet the whole time.
I
So
had
I'd be
no
like,
service.
Look at this,
Oh,
Joel. Look
man.
at this. Look at this, Joel.
I had
Look
no
at this.
service at all. I had zero service in Europe. Huh?
What do you have?
Oh, I have
Joel did this
the
awesome
worst
thing.
people in the world.
Joel did this awesome
me
thing.
Send me on a trip overseas with like a, I don't even know what you say, like on a wish and a prayer and just a lie.
He signed up
Just
for the
straight up.
Germany package
I
with
did.
the cell phone. So he had the ability to
I did.
call Germany.
No, I signed up for the initial stuff, for all the
he had the
international
ability to
stuff.
call
he had the
But-
ability to call Germany
No,
instead
no.
of the phone
no,
working
no.
in Germany.
Now you shut your mouth for a second because I got to explain the story here. If it was my ignoramus move, right? I would woefully and gladly admit my own stupidity when I either trip over something and fall down or do something dumb. I am happy to point out that yes, I'm on a regular basis a full-blown moron at times. But when it's somebody else, when it's their job to tell me what needs to be done in order for their product to work where I am going 14,682 miles away, right? I don't understand how that responsibility falls on me, the customer, when I've been told this is what I'm supposed to sign up for. Let's get you all signed up for that so you'll be able to have service over there. And then once I'm over there, then my spouse is told, oh, you know what he should do? He should just go buy a burn phone in Germany. And we'll go ahead and just refund you the money that we already charged you for the international plan that doesn't work while you're over there. Because we know it doesn't work over there, but we charged you for it. And you paid us, so why don't you just buy a burn phone while you're over there? Like I'm some kind of gangster from the 1920s, right? Like I just buying burn phones and just doing whatever I'm doing.
Is that what they did
I'm
in
like
1920?
Gunrunner, bro. Of course I got all that stuff ready to go. I got SD cards that the CIA can't track. I'm just doing all that stuff. International madman, right? I don't even speak German, okay? Do you know how hard it was for Corey and I to find a restaurant that would allow us to order food? Because, by the way, we were in the ghetto where people were like, hey, we're going to shank you or you're going to leave, right? And it'd be like, yeah, why don't you just buy a burn phone from the people that want to stab you in the face? I don't, you know.
We did get yelled at, so.
Oh, I'm telling you, we tried to order some food from a guy, and you know what he said to us? He looked us dead in the face. I don't know how he looked at both of us at the same time, but it happened. And he went, 9! And we just went,
Really?
we
Yeah.
just bounced out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were seriously in a part of town.
That Greek guy was
we were
not
seriously
having it.
on foot in a part of town where there's like, okay, let me set the tone for you. The sun's going down. It's getting dark. Kobe and Gerald have no idea where they are. I don't even have.
You got to envision me 5 miles into like
right. Oh, we're like
the urban hike of like, eventually we gotta find something.
Right. And like idiots, we should have just eaten the pizza. You know what I'm saying? We should have just gone straight to the first pizza place we saw and been like, pepperoni or whatever. Like, we're done. We're gonna turn around and go back home. But no. Like a couple of intrepid travelers, we were like, we gotta get in to the heart of the city and
how
get
much
some
further
authentic.
could something besides pizza be? I kept saying.
How much farther could it possibly be? Oh, at least 100 miles or what is that? 200 kilometers? But so Corey and I, we're walking around, and I'm going like, dude, we are seriously in a bad part of town. And he's like, I think so. And I'm like, I kind of start pointing it out to him like, that's a gambling club. That place has spray paint all over the windows, so you don't know what's going on inside of it. That's a massage parlor, which I really don't think anybody else around here is, or I don't think anybody around here is having a spa day, if you know what I'm saying. There's no kids running around. There's no people around. It's like 8:30, 9 o'clock, like the sun's going down, but it's like there should be people around because it was like 80 degrees out that day. There ain't people around, and the only people that are around are moving quickly and like crossing the street back and forth, right? So that no one can really track where they're going. Every single place we go by either has like lock on the door, right? Or it's like permanently boarded up with thick lumber so that people can't break in the middle of the night by chewing through the boards like rats, right? And we got to some places, and eventually we found some very nice Vietnamese people who treated us very kindly. And we had noodles, and you had chicken satay. And by the way, as a little extra added bonus from our extra legwork, if you will, we put in the work. We didn't die. We weren't murdered.
Not this time.
Work, and we got rewarded with a really cool saltwater aquarium.
It was awesome.
Yeah, probably like a, was it like
a 180? Yeah,
maybe 180, something like that. Really nice saltwater aquarium, and a completely empty restaurant except for myself and Kobe himself eating Vietnamese food in Germany.
That's random. That was an amazing.
I'll tell you what's random. I'll tell you what's random. Every week.
I just have to figure out how to not say bad words, and then I'll be
every
fine.
week I touch my knee to the bottom of this table, and I get sap on it. Every week.
You do? Is there sap on that board?
Just on my side.
Yeah, I don't feel
every week, and I keep telling myself I should put like a piece of paper towel or something there so I don't get, and then it rips my leg hair off every week. So if you ever see me like, what is going on here? Every week, now if you go back and look at the episodes, every week you'll be like, oh, you'll see my facial expression of like, just put my knee in the sap again. But yes, apparently in the Nuremberg ghetto, it's only Greek / pizzerias.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the pizzeria? Why don't you guys eat pizza?
We just didn't feel like pizza, right? Okay. So like
it was one of those like, okay, what else is there? What? And there was literally nothing else.
We were doing the like.
But looking back now, you would have had pizza.
Maybe
we were progressively moving more and more into.
Yeah.
But it was just little increments, right? Because we would like go up to a block and we'd be like, oh, there's like a pub right there. Like maybe they have a sausage, but we already had brats.
And we did try to go to the Euro place, and that's where they said no really loudly.
The Euro place was where the guy was like,
"It's because you're speaking English."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were like, "Do you speak English?" 9.
Yeah, we were
okay.
Like, we got to go.
Oh, and I was thinking like, oh yeah, how much crap are we gonna get from the internet when we say we ate pizza in Germany?
Well, it wasn't even that.
I was thinking that.
I think neither of us were really like feeling pizza.
Yeah.
And so we were like, oh, we'll just walk another block. I mean, it was super nice out. You know what I mean?
It was nice.
Like, you couldn't have asked for nicer weather. And so we're like,
5 miles loop or?
I don't know. It was pretty far. I mean, it was probably like 7-mile loop or something like that, like altogether.
Which for a body like this, it's a lot.
It's good for you.
It is good for me. I wouldn't say it wasn't good for me.
Getting ready for Peru.
I feel like I was a trooper hiking around Germany. We did quite a bit of walking on a few occasions, whether we wanted to or not.
There was a certain point where we were like walking back and forth at Interzoo, and it was like, are you sure it's worth it to go to that meeting? Because I don't really feel like walking all the way back, all the way across this crazy campus.
Wait, how long was Interzoo? Was it 3 days?
No, 5 or 4.
It was
4 days.
But you guys were there
Basically 5 days, because the night we got there, we were with all the flu ball guys,
Right.
which they hosted.
But I
us
don't
for
think
dinner.
the show was open technically.
The show wasn't open, but it
Yeah.
was 4 pure days of like, yeah, the sun's coming up. You better be in there, as far as we were concerned. And the sun's going down. That means nothing. You could still fit some more meetings in, you know.
The
So-
chat was blowing up during that rant. It was hilarious.
What do I think about the biopod? Gimmicky? Yes. Gimmicky AF.
I'm trying to think what the
don't think
biopod.
We saw those things that were like they had a display there, and it's like a palletarium with a little bit of water, and then you spend $37,000 on sensors, and it basically your app tells you like, hey, it's time to change water.
Oh, that thing. It's all the controller unit and all that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a cool concept, except for the price tag of $3 billion.
I feel like you've gone a little high.
It might have been $2.5 billion. But yes,
Okay.
I don't know. It felt like whenever I've really looked into them, like that thing's cool, but not that kind of money cool. That's been always my takeaway. So, is it gimmicky? I don't think it's gimmicky. I think all the things it does is cool. It just ain't cheap. It's kind of like take an aquarium,
Yeah.
like take a 10-gallon aquarium or a 20-gallon aquarium, and then put an Apex system with it for $800. And you're like,
Right.
check out this thing for $900, and you're like, that's just an Apex system plus
Well-
a 20-gallon aquarium.
Well, to be honest, the Apex system is $7.99, right?
Yeah,
Then the 20-gallon, right? Let's say it's a 20 long.
sure.
So then it's $54.99.
Yeah.
Right? But in order for me to bundle those together for you, it's gonna be $1,200.
That's right, because we put an app with it.
And it's got Bark background in there.
Yeah.
Which cost us, when we bulk ordered it, 12 cents.
I only learned
the
one
math written down here,
one
so
German
you know.
phrase while I was there.
I learned nothing. It's the chaotic.
You know the one, because I was saying it all the time.
That sounds like Kobe. He learns one word.
Quit
and he'll
telling me
just
I
keep
know
on
the
repeating
one.
it.
When I say it, you'll be like, oh yeah, you wouldn't shut up about that.
I mean, I know German fluently from having been there.
I know, you're quick study. I learned good morgen. That's it.
Oh, the Good Morgan?
Yeah. That's the only
That's
thing I
good
learned.
morning.
Yeah, I know.
You just say good
It's
morning.
actually like Morgan, like the name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least, I mean, that's how it sounded when they said it.
Yeah.
Good
But you
morgen.
just say good morning, and they're like, that's good enough.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
like
the
maybe
only
he's
thing I
chewing
learned.
bubble gum or something.
Yeah.
You should have said that to the Greek guy. He wouldn't have been.
Oh, I will tell you this.
Except it was night.
One
You probably
thing
freaked out.
one thing that we haven't talked about is the inordinate amount of German people that would come up and just start talking to my face in German.
Joel looks German, apparently.
I mean,
I didn't have that happen.
I got a lot of Danish in my background, which is pretty darn close to there. I mean, there's just a line in the sand, right? But it just kept happening. It just kept happening. And Corey was like, because I mentioned it to him, because it was happening when Corey was not around. Like, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to go downstairs or something, and or whatever. But it just kept happening to me. And I was like, I tell him to Corey, he's like, I don't know, you're just being ridiculous. Like, of course they think you speak German because we're in Germany, right? And I'm like, okay. But then, like, as time went on, he's like, yeah, people are just coming up to you and talking in German. Like, you should just know what's up. And I'm like,
They knew I wasn't German. I
was
think
like,
they
maybe
could
somebody-
smell me or
I
something.
don't know,
like,
maybe somebody, like, stole my picture and, like, put it in a magazine ad somewhere or something. So
Yeah.
people think I'm German or something.
You're
like
probably
that.
just like that German model. And they're like, oh, it's that guy. It's
You're
probably
right.
what was happening.
I would say famous footballer, probably, you know?
Who knows, you know?
Footballer.
Foosball.
Footballer.
Yeah.
Football.
Footy. You playing footy?
No.
That's footsie.
Oh.
I am excited, though. There's a bunch of products that I brought back to test, but I don't want to mention them until I test them because they could be garbage.
Yeah, that's right. It's a good point.
So-
we do have a lot of cool stuff that we can't talk about
You should
yet,
bring back that big old refrigerator. For
which is
plants.
annoying. It is kind of annoying.
I
that-
asked about that, and they said no.
I think it's legit.
Because they said it only on 220 power. Get your own fridge, bro. And
I will.
was like,
Really?
no.
I will mention, without mentioning names, did have some interesting interactions while we were there with
You mean the shouting match?
relatively high up people in the
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
There was... So,
I'm the owner of a multinational company, and I'm going to yell at your face.
Corby and Jurl were not willing to back down. We were like how we will fight. We'll fight, but like defend a point. And then Giant Company thought if you yell and talk over them enough, they will concede the point. We weren't willing to concede, and after like 45 minutes and the lights
Look,
are closing down.
I'll put it this way: there's 2 of us and 12 of you.
Yeah. But
Good luck.
we're very used to. I see what you're saying, but that doesn't change this fact.
Right.
No matter how loud, and I'm not going to say make stuff up, but when you just say, like, I'm right, that doesn't make it right.
Like you screaming "I'm right" does not suddenly make you the correct one.
It was epic, though.
It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
But it was definitely that was the funniest interaction, I think. Like, not funny haha, but like funny, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
It was definitely, I guess it was comedy. I guess I had comic to it.
It was awkward. It was the most
After the
awkward
fact.
thing for sure.
During the time, it was the most confrontational.
Because
and I
they
was just
invited
like-
us over.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest part. It's not like
They wanted our advice, and then when they got our advice,
when they got a dose of our advice,
they just started yelling at
Telling
us
us how we're
about
wrong.
How we're wrong, and it was like, dude, you asked me to come over here and spend time here and help you,
yeah.
and now you're yelling at me about how you're right. Like, cool story. That's pretty rad. Guess I'm just gonna have to go ahead and put you on the list, kind of situation. But I would say that, like,
I definitely had the
one
moment.
of the upsides that I think people would be able to understand is that, like, or I guess just kind of as a minor selling point, is that, like, some of the work that Corey and I were doing is, like, we need to vet some of these companies. Like, no one's really had any contact with these, like, CEOs or owners or any of those people, and it's like, not only do we want to vet the product if we were going to use it, or like give a recommendation to use something, I want to know the people behind it.
Some
You know
were
what I mean?
super cool, and some were just crusty old dudes.
Some were super cool, some were aloof, and some were, I'm going to scream in your face.
Yeah.
It was definitely a mixed bag of nonsense, that's for sure. But I was surprised by that, because most everybody was at least polite up until that point.
And I think that was the last meeting of the entire show.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we did stop by Heiko afterwards, so it wasn't the
Oh, yeah, that
exact
wasn't the
last,
last
but it was
one.
second to last of like, whoa. I just remember, at one point, I was sitting in a chair and Joel was standing talking to someone else. And in my mind, I go, oh no, now you did it. You set Joel off. And it was like, I almost feel bad for the guy he's sparring with at the moment.
Yeah. It's not going to stop.
What are you guys talking about?
Like, here's
We
the thing.
can't say without
If I'm
identifying
wrong,
the company.
If I'm wrong about something, you could throw some facts at me. You could throw some empathy at me. You could throw. There's a lot of ways to go. Like, look, let me explain what I'm doing here. But I will tell you this: if I'm right, I'm not gonna back down. Like, I don't care. And you think anger and potential violence and those kinds of things are gonna make me back down? I don't think so. Bring it. Let's go. Like, and not to mention the fact that, like, I know I'm right because I was trying to explain, like, you attacking other people is the wrong behavior, and that's what they
Yeah.
were trying to defend. And it's like, I mean, what would happen if I was just walking down the street just punching people in the face, like, I'm right, douche, like, what? But you want to do that with words, right? You want to just do that with words? Like, sorry, man. And I'm not going to back down from that either. I don't care how many companies you own or how many millions of billions of dollars you got. I don't care. Like, what are you going to do?
My favorite part was the
I mean, what
other
are you gonna do to
people
me
that
hasn't
weren't
been
that
done
way.
already, right?
The other part of the other people in that company that were just like, I don't know what's going on
right
right now.
Yeah, I mean, how many?
Like,
other,
they were
other-
just like,
I mean, how many other people in the company are like walking up and being like trying to pull their owner away from yelling in my face? And it's like, I don't care. Yell in my face. I don't care. What are you gonna do? You're not gonna convince me. Cool.
yeah.
So it's it's really one of those funny things too.
Wasn't CCAM. In fact, we didn't even go to their booth.
I stopped by.
Oh, did
CCAM,
you?
And then they said I was tripping, so I left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like,
Well, I didn't
"It's
stop
that
by.
guy.
Yeah.
It's that guy.
Matrix.
Get out of here."
I wish, except that's the thing is the big people, the big CEO people don't know who anyone is.
They have the big CEO people have no.
They don't
clue
even
who
know you.
anybody
They
is.
hate you. They just be like, and who are you?
Although I will tell you, I had a very I had a very like emotional conversation with somebody who works really hard at Fluval, it was basically a guy who's high enough up in the company that he does affect a lot of things that go on, inner workings and things, and he was very emotional about the fact of it's difficult for them to see the criticisms from the internet and stuff like that, because it's really kind of a faceless interaction. I was really happy to see that. I was really happy to see people at Fluval, people at Hagen are like actually emotionally invested in the product that they're putting out. That was definitely so cool to see how many people are like working hard there to put out a good product. Yeah. Just on the basis of like they want your fish and your aquariums to do well, Mm-hmm. So that was definitely pretty cool.
Who's tripping now?
Who's tripping now? I mean, Fluval's still tripping. Because
they still have no idea. They still have no idea.
They still have no idea what it is.
It's all over their Fluval light review or whatever.
That was the very emotional
conversation. These guys are so high up, they have no idea.
That was the very emotional conversation I was having with the guy. He was like, I don't know, like people are being like super harsh on us and stuff. And I was like, don't worry about it, man. It's just the internet.
A thing, yeah.
You guys are doing great. Just keep up the good work.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do a like spike. How about that?
Should we do the like spike?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't count it down. I don't know how to
It's
do
166 right now.
All right.
So Corey, hit the wheel.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hit that
Like spike.
button.
I'm doing it on my own phone even. Wait, it better not play it again.
I don't have
last
service
time.
here, so
Yeah, last
still got
time
the
it.
German.
I still got the German phone. That
I'm
doesn't
loading.
work.
I swear you can see it right here. I swear I'm doing it.
Oh, there you go. Are you gonna play the audio?
I'll do it.
So the
No.
audio.
No.
It's always good.
So Ed's Fish says Fluval screws up sometimes, but I love him. Makes me sad. That's the thing is.
Well, that's one of those.
They do care.
They do care. They do.
No
care.
one's perfect.
They do care. No one's perfect. They do warranty their stuff. I mean, that's one of those huge things to me. Is that like, if you actively warranty your product and then actually do it, not just write down a piece of paper and then like not follow up on it. Those guys actually follow up on it. Like accidents do happen. Manufacturing flaws happen from time to time. I'm 90% of the time super happy with their product. You know what I mean? And the other 10% is like, why doesn't this light feed the dogs for me, right? And I'm like, that's unrealistic. But I still have that feeling like, hey, man, why doesn't it do that for me? But
I recommended a change, and by the time we had left, they were showing us emails that they had already had it at the factory in China, the change being made.
yeah,
They say it's going to take like 6 months for it to actually hit the market, but that the change is on the way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
So
good to
awesome.
see like, okay, stuff's actually happening. But
that's on that like nano light, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The packaging is changing.
Mm-hmm.
And something else too. I forget. But they really we're working on it. Actually, it was like, here's the emails. Like,
Mm-hmm. They wanted us to really know they're actually fixing it, not just like, oh, we heard you. Yeah, maybe we'll look into it. They were like,
and
"We
by the
heard
way,
you
a
and
lot
we're
of people
fixing
have
it."
been asking about the, and Candy just posted in there, they've been asking about the Fluval 3.0 lights.
Yeah,
I've been using one that was broken, by the way,
I broke it.
and has been shabbily fixed by two unprofessional repairmen, namely me and Kobe.
I don't want any part of that. When it burns your house down, I don't want to be. I stabbed that thing with a screwdriver and ripped a wire
it might
out.
burn the garage
Oh,
down.
you gave him that one?
Yeah, I gave him the one that I broke with a screwdriver.
It might burn the garage down. Don't worry. It won't burn my house down.
That's what I do to test a light. Can
Well,
it
when I was
withstand?
working at the shop, someone had returned a light that didn't work with the app.
It didn't work with the app?
It turns on, but the app doesn't feed to the...
I already know. I was talking about that today, and that's the same light. The light came back. It got set in the wrong pile without... We were going to show it to Fluval, and then it got sold as a returned
10%
light,
off.
10% off light. And then the person was like, hey, it's doing the same thing. And I was like, this is still the same light. We still have to show it to Fluval.
It's all the same serial number.
Yeah,
and
so I was
everything.
like, the guy got the brand new light and all that. We warranty everything, but it's the same light twice now. I'm like, no, This one has to go to the rep so that the rep can send it back so they can figure out why is it that it won't. It'll pair with the app, but it won't save settings.
Right.
So, yeah, trying to make things better.
Yeah, anyhow, the reason I was saying that is because Candy posted a link in the chat. So if you do want to get that light, make sure you use my affiliate. That's a shameless self-plug right there. Use my affiliate link.
Free plug.
It is
I
shameless.
bought Top Ramen yesterday. That's all I'm saying.
For real?
Shout out to Jimmy.
Like, what kind of top ramen?
You should take a picture and post it up to Twitter. Is
me
it like
I got
rich?
me-
He's so Twitter.
No.
Is it like rich person top ramen or like $6 for $1
I would
top
say it's because
ramen?
I'm super poor, and it would just be a joke. But
Yeah.
the shout out to Jimmy is because I got the good ramen.
You got the rich man
Yeah.
ramen.
So I'm probably gonna bring some of that up like next week.
Whoa.
It's not good. It's not rich man ramen. It's like ramen. It's like $5.
Yeah, well,
That's-
it wasn't $6 for $1 though.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Do-
Just making sure we're on the same page.
What?
Page.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
What does the blue wrench mean over someone's name tag? Means they're a moderator.
Oh yeah.
And they help us keep
Who's
people
asking
in
that?
line and swat down CChem whenever we need to. Yeah.
Samantha Ramirez was asking that. What's up, Samantha? Yeah, the Blue Wrench is moderators in case people post like nonsense in the chat. For instance.
Which there might be coming to my channel if I ever get approved. The sponsorship thing, and then you can get there'll be some kind of badge thing, but it hasn't been
Oh,
released
the
for me.
sponsorship badge. I don't have 100,000 subscribers, so
Yeah, I'm not special enough yet. I have the requirements, but apparently I'm not special. We'll see how it
I'm
goes.
sorry I'm sad pants, Jimmy, but I
know,
just
it's,
am.
It's funny. You went from like full on rant mode to like Mr. Saddy Pants.
Yeah.
It's because I'm not telling a story. I'm just telling my feels.
Is it because I cursed on your channel? I'm sorry.
It's because I'm telling my
I
feels.
think it's because it's getting
What?
hotter and sweatier in
It's
here
hot
by the
in here.
moment.
It's hot in here.
Yesterday, Corey's last words to me were, "It's hot as beep," and then he just walked away
Yeah.
and never came back. I was like, "Where is he?"
It's gone.
It was hot as beep in here for sure.
Yeah.
What kind of tacos today? I don't think we're doing any tacos. We doing
had a
lumpia. Oh no, I did. Oh, I had a tostada for lunch.
Those are Vietnamese tacos.
Yeah,
The
pretty
lumpia.
much.
Yeah.
By the way, that Vietnamese food, at least mine, was not good in Germany.
I was really
we don't
hungry,
make
so I
chicken.
It was
Satay.
like
That's a Thai
extra greasy on the. Cause I got like
couldn't really
Vietnamese
give you
like rolls.
on that meal. I couldn't really give you a great review on the food because I was super hungry and like I'm just gonna eat this.
I bet everything would taste.
The soda was good because I was quite parched after the 12-mile trek.
Yeah.
And then we walked all the way home, didn't we?
Chris Thomas was born in Nuremberg.
Weird.
Cool. We were just there.
Yeah, the castle part was super cool.
The castle part was awesome. The walled city.
Yeah, but it wasn't really within Well, nothing was in walking distance as we found out, but it wasn't really a walk-to thing. It was more like take a taxi. Or it was like a €15 taxi each way type of deal. But you got a bunch of cool pictures.
I did.
I took a few pictures.
I'll probably never post them on the internet though.
I'll post them up to the Twitter.
You know, it's all weird pictures of
You guys
George
haven't noticed
Farmer.
Corey.
It's all weird
It's on
pictures
Twitter.
of
I'm
George
bringing
Farmer.
Twitter
anyhow.
back. I'm bringing Twitter back.
You bring. I don't know
Single-handedly.
why you keep telling me to do
Bringing
Twitter.
Twitter
He keeps trying to leverage me into doing Twitter. So
Once I get you to
he's
go
really
all
like
in.
weird ways too. It's odd. It's odd what he's doing.
Yeah, it's like, let me know what time you want to eat breakfast. And I go, shoot me anything on Twitter. I'll let you know.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't have any service, bro. I could just throw my phone at you. Mm-hmm. I tried that. Jimmy hijacked my channel while I was in Germany.
That was fun.
But mad props. I thought it was good. I really did. I was cracking up. Once I got a chance to see it, I was like gonna play along like, oh no, Jimmy stole my channel. But like having no service was like, I'm just
How'd
happy
you see
that
it,
something
then?
happened. I found Wi-Fi
Oh,
Yeah, at the hotel you got Wi-Fi.
at the hotel, so I'd have to like get all the way back
Yeah.
to the hotel, like get the Wi-Fi. I couldn't glean any Wi-Fi on anything out there because like Interzoo, you couldn't sign up for it.
Your phone hated you was a problem. I
Well,
could do
Interzoo,
it.
you couldn't sign up for the free Wi-Fi. It would boot me out before I could.
Well, it
sign
worked
up
for me.
it.
yeah, your phone hated.
You had
Your phone
service.
hated you.
You had service.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
AKA your phone hated you.
Well, what I'm saying is that the Wi-Fi at Interzoo would boot me out because there was so much traffic going into to sign up for the Wi-Fi. So because I didn't have service, that's why it was doing that. It was kicking me out because it was considering me idle, basically. So I had like 9 seconds to sign up for it and try to hit the like sign up, and I could never get it. It was like a stupid video game. It's like level 9.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Level 9 BS, and I'm like a teenager all over again, bro. I'm gonna break my NES controller.
By the way, they're re-releasing the NES Classic.
Who cares? It's garbage. You could just mod that.
Lots of people.
Emulator.
Yeah, you could just put an
He
emulator.
bought an NES and he don't even play it.
SNES, bro.
He bought a Super NES.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Sergeant
I love those games.
I'm an Excite Bike Pro.
I would play Metroid again for sure.
Yes, Contra.
I'd probably play Contra, maybe. I don't know. I beat that game so many times.
I don't have time for games.
I'm trying
is
to
the
think of a
problem.
game that's good. I think PS1 games definitely have some longevity.
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal's so fun.
Castlevania.
Yeah.
Castlevania on PS1 is bomb.
Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, Symphony of the Night. That's probably one of the best video
games
games
in the
ever
ever.
made.
I have like hot flashes going right now. It's that hot.
I know, it's hot in
Deemer.
here.
Like my arm is sweaty on the
My back's
table.
hurt, which is- I hate it. I need a shower.
We're gonna have to do something for next week.
Daryl Deemer with $20 super chat.
That $20 is going straight to somehow making this room less hot.
Some kind of
I
AC.
guarantee
Fans
it.
everywhere.
I
Computer
guarantee it. I mean, we can't have it be loud, but we need to. The problem is it's really hot outside. Like it was 86 when we landed back in Washington. So summer is here wicked early.
Back in where no one calls it Seatown.
That's right.
No one calls it that, by the way. If you're some weirdo from out of town and you start calling Seattle Seatown,
Who said that?
Yeah, I don't know.
it's been said to
Oh,
me.
what other days coming?
What?
Right now.
What?
Word of the day? What?
Oh, word of the day. Don't worry, it will happen.
Yeah, it's
Don't
not
worry.
word.
asking.
It's not word
Don't
of the
worry.
daytime.
Yeah.
4:37.
That's not when we do word of the day.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah.
I'm new here.
It's rookie.
I'm new here.
It's amateur. It's bush league.
Yeah.
You know what's cool though? He showed.
He showed.
You showed.
I
And the
showed.
video that
He
you guys
showed.
haven't seen yet.
He showed the
was a
seashells.
piece of wood that screwed in at the bottom with the suction cup.
Oh, at the Tropica booth. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And
I
then
need a
they
better
glued
description.
Anubius to it.
The suction cup. They got these special suction cups that allow for a screw to screw into wood, and then you can suction cup it to the side of the tank.
Oh, I saw. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I saw those. Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
I like it.
Yeah.
I was
I've
trying to
made
figure out
those.
if I could DIY it or not.
I've made those before, but I'm just so opposed to the suction cup situation.
Well, that was
They
my
will
thing. I
fail.
was like,
It's just a disaster when they fail too, because they're always like,
And
"Oh, I really need this suction cup to hold this in place,"
yeah.
and then it's like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
never happens when you're there. It always happens when it's going to be a.
Well, of course, they had
Nightmare.
fresh ones there. They're not like you don't want to like have this giant booth. Like, see how these things fall off all the time? It's awesome, right?
They get brittle. They
Yeah.
get brittle and.
I mean, maybe if they pair it with like Eheim suction cups, that's the best thing Eheim's ever done is make suction cups.
Oh yeah, like the rubber that lasts forever.
Yeah,
in the
whatever
water.
rubber compound they have, that's the best thing they've brought to this world.
It's probably like those rare earth metal magnets.
Rare earth rubber. Yeah.
But the speaking of magnets, the best option that I've seen for something like that is magnets, like in a reef. You know.
Whoa, that's mighty loud. Sure.
The wife came busting in.
Yeah.
You should have done the Kool-Aid Man. You should have done the Kool-Aid Man thing and like kick the door open.
Yeah. Be divorced right now.
No, you wouldn't.
Ooh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm
In
thinking.
my face.
Thank you. Thank you.
What is this?
Strawberry
Strawberries
guava.
from Rowdy.
It's the Hawaii drink.
It's the Hawaii drink. Oh.
The D. Thomas. Hate following a dime bag there with the $5. But I haven't caught a live stream in a while. Can you speak on seed shrimp for a few seconds? Seed shrimp are a choking hazard. They are.
What?
They have really hard shells, and for a fry, they're a choking hazard. Seed shrimp.
All right.
They're kind of like cyclops, copepods, seed shrimpers. They can outcompete your Daphnia colony as well. But that's all I really know about them because I mean, I still feed them. I just feed them to bigger fish, and I've never I don't have an unlimited supply of seed shrimps. So
Oh.
The last few
Savannah's
fish
talking
I've had that died was a choking hazard.
What are you choking to death?
The goby, he tried to eat a rummy nose and he choked to death.
Oh yeah, yeah.
My orange finhill trout tried to eat an amber tetra, choked to death.
I told you those ember tetras, man.
Robert told me it'll be okay.
So let's think here. Guy that owns the business, guy that manages the business.
There's still a good amount left.
I mean, yeah, they're still doing okay, but do not
trying to
tell
fatten
me
up the
I didn't
ember
warn
tetras.
that. Okay, yeah, that's.
That's
Oh, I thought you were saying you're trying to fatten up the hill trout. So I was
No,
like, doing a
I'm
good
not-
job.
I'm thinking of fry food, but
Are the hill trouts still in there?
there's 2 left.
Yeah.
There's 2 left. One passed away with the ember tetra.
Oh
in
yeah,
his
there
mouth.
they are.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
They look
seeing
good
them.
though.
They were blending in
They're
with
so
the.
beautiful.
They were blending in with the yellow rainbow.
M-How 9 with the $4.99 for the tip jar. That's what I'm talking about. By the way, he also upped his Patreon, which was super nice. And then I used some of my Patreon money. I bought everyone dinner at Yesterdog. Because like everyone at the table was patrons. It was kind of weird and awesome.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
I didn't think.
I mean, that's not the only reason I bought
You
it.
didn't
But I
mention
was
it at
just,
the time.
I just thought it was like, whoa.
Yeah, you should have maybe mentioned it at the time that you were actually thinking about that, not like later on going like, look what I did.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Yeah. That's what I try and do.
It
you know.
seems like maybe you were thinking about it for a while and came up with it.
Mm-hmm.
You should have just said, I bought dinner for everybody at Yesterdog,
Yeah.
and Mike Howard was there.
Yeah. What all clear filter would you recommend for a 29 gallon? Go.
110.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's
Be full grown.
75.
Be full grown.
so you recommend 110.
110. No,
you
I-
recommend one that doesn't exist.
I actually
70?
recommend the
Is it a
50.
70?
This is a
I
70.
actually recommend the 50. The 50 will be the best.
I recommend the
for
50
that.
also, yeah.
But if you can get a 110, I would just get one. 'cause
By the way, I got Secret Technologies. The intake sponges on the website. We haven't updated the description or the picture yet.
somebody was asking about intake sponges. Do you have them in stock?
Not the larges.
No.
I have smalls and mediums.
Huh.
And we met with the manufacturer. Remember that whole like 45 minutes where you're bored out of your mind?
That's what? I wasn't bored at all.
Well, I meant that whole thing where it was like a different language and like conveying we needed that sponge. Anyway,
How many times do I have to explain to you people that I have resting bitch face?
why
I'm
are you
not
so
bored.
Why are you
I'm
so
not
bored
mad.
right now? You look pretty mad.
I just sit there like, and people are like,
I will say this.
I'm just
I'm
resting.
a hashtag free plug right now.
What?
Fluval LED heaters. I can clearly see my lower left tank is in the red. I need to figure out why it's so hot down there. Is it super? No, it's not super hot in the Shodanai puffers. But the visual LED is letting me know that apparently that bottom left tank is on fire at the moment in the red. So I gotta.
Because it's hot in here, bro.
Yeah, those black rose shrimp probably aren't too happy. So, but yes. Anyway, I was.
You got black rose shrimp?
Yeah.
That's cool of you.
But maybe not anymore because it's red down there. It's not good. It's not even like blinking. It's on red.
I see him swimming
Oh,
around.
there's green now.
Oh, it did go back to green.
That's weird.
It can't be that on fire then. What temperature is that? 82?
80.5.
All right. So it must have been up at like 81.5.
It says LF.
Low flow.
Flow.
We got to clean that sponge. That's what the deal is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's because the tank is low flowing.
Yep. Jimmy. You can't leave Jimmy alone to do
I've
anything.
been doing a
How
pretty
cool is
good
that?
job around here.
How cool is that? You're
Except-
told by the heater that it has low flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. I'm scooting back.
We need to create our own large intake sponges. Yes. I've had multiple meetings. I okayed the production design of
It's
the mold
happening.
today, in
I
fact.
would say this. I was there. It's happening.
Yeah. I approved the mold. I have basically agreed to spend a ridiculous amount of money for a cargo container filled with large intake sponges.
$12 American dollars.
Yep. It might be plus or minus $5 to move an entire container from China to here, but yes, so definitely doing that.
And you're gonna park it right there.
I did message someone about parking a cargo container in my driveway. Yes. Tim asked, why don't I keep the All Clear 110s in stock? I actually do. I just don't sell them online. I don't have a good way to sell them online while turning a profit. So the shipping, I can ship them to you broken, basically, where they're gonna arrive and be like, oh, why are they cracked? Because there's
no-
that.
I remember you telling me about that. There's no good box that they go in.
You got to like really oversize it. Like, why'd you set in a box this big? Because anything less with less than this much bubble wrap,
Right.
it gets destroyed. In which case, the market's already destroyed when Amazon's selling them for $65, and you read the reviews, and you're like, they keep arriving broken. And it's like, yes, you've left no meat on the bone for a guy like me to do it right. It's like, what people don't know is an Octaclear 110 that's for sale for $65 on Amazon, my cost is $63 on that filter.
Right.
So I literally have $2 left, and if you pay with a credit card, I've already lost money. And so there is no money left to ship it or anything. And so I'm not losing money on the smaller sizes. So I'm willing to supply a product at a break-even point. I'm not willing to supply it at a losing money ratio. That's just, it's not good.
I do have to point something out here to completely sidetrack you from what you were talking about. Savannah Aqualama was talking about Metal Gear Solid. I don't know if anybody remembers that name, but kudos for bringing that up because I love that video game also.
Yeah, because I love David.
Sorry. But yeah, you can't ship the 110. We get it.
No, it's bad.
What time is it, Jimmy?
Nearly word of the day.
Please tell me how to get my 10-gallon tanks water to stop turning green. From Carol.
Well, it's a balance issue. My go-to is like buy a UV sterilizer if you don't own one because it's just a cool piece of equipment to own. Other than that, either less light or less nutrients. Or, no, that's probably, we can go into a long-winded thing, but probably one of those two is in excess. And especially that can become very apparent if you're getting some sunlight going on. But yes, a little bit of balance. Or a UV sterilizer makes it easy mode, and then you've got a UV sterilizer to work against some parasites and that type of thing.
Vexing Cat's asking, do you lose money when folks use PayPal?
PayPal is equal to using a credit card, essentially. So on the 110, yes. It's basically like no matter what form of payment, it's going to be about 2.4% at the level we're at.
Yep.
And that's just kind of an accepted thing. It's baked into everyone's prices.
It's just part of the cost.
Yep.
Word of the day.
Oh. I gotta go.
Let's do it.
Word of the day.
Where can you get a co-op shirt? You can buy it from the website if you're in the U.S. If you're not in the U.S., you can get a Goldfish Aquarium Co-op shirt from the Teespring campaign, but you got to dig a little bit to find the international link. It's buried a little bit.
Just as a heads up, apparently Ramadan begins at sundown.
Today? Huh.
Tuesday, May 15th.
I mean, I knew that.
That's just a heads up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. All right. Today's word of the day for May 15th, 2018 is a noun.
Hot dog.
3 syllables. Prepare yourself. It's not hot dog because it's 3 syllables. It's a noun.
How about hot dogs?
Hot doggity dog. No, that's not what it is. But here comes the definition. You better pay attention real quickly because it's very, very short and brief. It's a noun, which is chiefly British, a disturbance, or fuss.
And it's British?
It's British.
The word is British.
Chiefly British.
And
Chiefly, primarily, well, not, I mean, chiefly, like most often used, like in the UK.
What's the other part again? It was disturbance or?
Is a disturbance or fuss.
And it's 3 syllables.
3 syllables.
That's exactly
3 syllables. It's a disturbance or a fuss.
That's way too many.
It's not domestic.
It's not domestic. It's not ruckus.
Oh!
Ed's fish super fast.
He spelled it a little off, but we'll take it.
He did. They spelled it off. The spelling, Ed, was a little bit off, but Ed's got it. The word of the day is kerfuffle.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's a noun?
And Dorcas spelled it super wrong, too. Try to get fancy with it.
Kerfluffle.
You know it's hard if she can't spell it right, because I'm a moron. And usually she makes fun of me after the show every time, but this time I can be like, you didn't even spell it right. Even though I had no clue what it was. So
Yeah, so I didn't mean to start such a kerfuffle when I suggested that we hold the company picnic at a different location this year. What a fuss.
kerfuffle.
Did you know fuffle was first used in Scottish English
Just fuffle?
as early as... There you go.
You want me to
Here
do
you
that
are,
one?
sir.
All right.
Here you are, sir. Have a good time.
Fuffle
Wait, what?
was first used in Scottish English as early as the 16th century.
Hold on.
As a
Where's
verb
Scottish?
meaning to
Where's Scottish from?
dishevel. The addition of the prefix car, C-A-R by the way, possibly derived from the Scottish Gaelic word meaning wrong or awkward, didn't change the meaning of the word considerably. In the 19th century, carfuffle, C-A-R again, with its variant kerfuffle, C-U-R, became a noun,
Jimmy.
and in the mid-20th century, it was
Jimmy,
embraced
I
by a
agree.
broader
It's super
population
hot
of
in here.
English speakers and standardized to
do you think it's
kerfuffle. There is some dispute among the language historians over how the altered spelling came to be favored. One theory holds that it might have been influenced by imitative words like kerplunk, where the syllable ker is simply added for emphasis.
Huh.
Green Day had an album called Kerplunk.
That's a true statement. It probably was Green Day then.
What?
Green Day, the influence on the word kerfuffle.
Word of the day.
Word.
Complete.
Done.
Can you tell this gentleman what's the difference between your vowel scenario and the jungle vowel scenario on the website?
Jungle vowel gets 2 feet longer, so like 8 feet long, and has a wider leaf. Like you can get to like a solid inch thick. Takes a little bit longer to grow. Maybe a little bit more robust, like because it's just so thick. But right now, it looks really good in the warehouse. I would say that's the biggest difference. Is like because we just started bringing jungle vowel in, we haven't bought out the entire farm, so it's probably bigger than it should be right now. In a month to 2 months, it'll be normal size because we'll burn through all their possible back stock. So that would be it. Will UV negatively affect fish? No, not in my experience.
No. I always feel like the UV's a Band-Aid, though, personally.
Sure, I agree.
You know, that's not... I never recommend UV sterilizer because it's kind of like, yeah, that solved the problem.
Yeah, but like in a pond, it's very difficult to solve green water without it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jason just had his
so you
neighbor's
say.
house got struck by lightning right now, and he has
Whose
to go.
house?
Jackson.
House on fire, must go. TTYL.
Neighbor's house.
Oh, his neighbor house did?
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh, we should end the show with TTYL.
Yeah. Jackson's
Only
going to have to go
shorthand.
AFK.
LOL. Rafflecopter.
So Jerry just found our channel, and the first word he heard was kerfluffle.
How's that go? Rafflemow?
Yeah,
Right?
Rafflemow.
Rafflemow?
Lamau.
I don't know Rufflemow.
R-O-F-L.
Oh, I've never thought about how that's said out loud.
Rolling on the floor. Laughing my...
Yes.
Asphalt off.
Autofocus off.
No, that's AF.
Autofocus off.
Well, welcome to the channel,
Remember when
Jerry.
Jimmy and I wrote that song? It was called Autofocus Off. It was in the key of classic 1984. What's the word?
16th century
German pop.
Scottish
It
English.
was like autofocus off. Autofocus off. Right? Remember that?
It's hot.
Do you remember that? You guys don't remember that?
I do remember that.
I mean, I know
brain
Jimmy
may be
remembers it.
hemorrhaging.
I know Jimmy remembers it, but it seems odd to me that Corey would not remember that.
24 of my Millennium Rainbows have ick. That's bad.
That sounds like
Ick-X.
the whole tank has it.
You need some Ick-X, bro, Dignian.
up the temp just a little bit. It depends on what the temperature is, and then go with the Ick-X because that whole tank is hammered.
Yeah, and Millenniums are beautiful.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Time to treat. That's really the only thing left to do at that point.
Yes. What do we got coming out? I think I have a video coming out.
Today?
You had a video come out today.
I had a video come out today. It was the follow-up to the Fish Room Tour, Part 1, which I did before we left.
Oh.
And then today was the follow-up of the Fish Room Tour after I got back and what my tanks look like after. With, like, I didn't ask Vicky to do a bunch of maintenance. She was just basically feeding and then, topping off water if needed.
Yeah.
That's basically all that she did. So I just wanted to kind of show people what 2 weeks was like. And...
Did you time-lapse it?
Nope. It's all video, man. You could watch it.
It's kind of asking a lot.
I didn't ask you to watch it. I said you could.
That's a fair statement. Yes.
I didn't say you should watch it, Corey, because you're just so smart that
it's about time you realize.
You probably wouldn't pick up on anything anyhow. You know what I mean? You'd be like, I already know everything that this Yutz is talking about.
Why aren't more freshwater tanks using porous rocks in the display as the biofilter like saltwater tanks? I don't know, Ed. I think about the same thing sometimes.
Much higher ability in a freshwater tank to build detritus and cause a tank crash in a freshwater system than in a saltwater system. Saltwater system is almost always pushing a lot of flow around the tank all the time, whereas a freshwater system, generally not.
Fair, but you could do that anyway.
You could, but in my experience, I've seen a lot of people do like really porous lava rock and stuff like that, and they're like, it works great, and then I'm like, well, be careful with that. About a year down the road, they normally have a big crash. I did a 375 with lava rock once to test that out. So it was like 400 gallons of aquarium, and I basically found out what I kind of thought was going to happen. Just eventually it just builds up and builds up and builds up, and then you just eventually get to the point where it's like, this is ridiculous, try and take care of it.
I've never experienced that. I've done it a lot with Tufa rock. Never had a problem.
Cool, man.
Yes. I don't spam the chat. If the question is outside of today's discussion, it's okay. Just tell me.
I couldn't find the question.
I have no idea. So...
How many times?
Yuri, what is that? Yuri 1986. Repost your question because I didn't see it.
We'll spot it.
How many times can a diamond drill be used? Bit be used?
Until it's dull.
Depends on how thick the glass is.
You can buy really expensive ones, and they might last longer. I buy the cheap China ones, and when they get dull, they stop. They basically start screaming like a banshee because you're just sliding on the glass. Yeah. Then take it and throw it away.
In my testing when I was building the store, water change started.
We have that scheduled for... Oh, yeah.
A $7 drill bit drilled like 6 to 8 tanks reliably, and a $100 drill bit drilled 7 to 9 tanks reliably. So... it did last slightly more, but clearly it was like, whoa, I could buy a pile of these bits. And so now I typically, my go-to thing is like 1 bit per day of drilling. So if I'm going to drill like 5 or 6 tanks in the day, I just use a bit and then get rid of it. Because, well, if I was smarter, I would write like on the back of it, like, oh, drilled 3 tanks today. But I never do that kind of stuff. So if I was smart, I'd be keeping like a tally of that, but... I'm always worried that...
I don't know. I can just tell if they're dull or not from cutting like bath tile and everything with them for a long time.
Yeah, to me, I just like, oh, it's used. I can tell it's used, but I can't tell how much it's used.
Right.
So
the easy way to tell, if there's no grit along the rim of it, it's all super smooth. Run your thumb around it.
Yeah.
If it's all super smooth, it's probably not going to cut anymore because it's that grittiness that allows it to grind the glass to cut the hole in.
And I've never really used the one that uses like the graphite slurry, so I have no idea if you get like a billion cuts out of that. I always use the diamond tipped ones.
Yeah, I use the diamond ones.
So maybe the slurry thing, because I think the slurry is the cutting agent or something. So maybe you get a ton of use out of that, but I've always just done the diamond ones. So
last question. Will we have our own spot at the Aquatic Experience?
We'll be at the YouTube booth.
Yep.
Unless some craziness goes down.
Unless some craziness goes down.
Yeah, the booth will be bigger this year, as I'm told.
YouTube booth.
Be there or be square.
Challenger's been asking this question since the beginning of the stream.
All right.
What are you guys' favorite King of the Hill quotes? Like, he asked like maybe 10 times.
I mean, it's kind of hard not to just go for an hour for me.
Well, pretty much anything that Boomhauer says.
I'm trying to think of a favorite. That's a crazy question.
It's crazy deep. How many episodes did they have?
I don't know. I bought Katie for Christmas the entire thing. It's like 12 DVDs.
12 DVDs.
And they'd never built a set, so I had to buy them like separately. I can't think of one other than it's like propane and propane accessories. I mean, that's said all the time, but I know I can think of a lot of favorite episodes, you know, like when he has to get the butt implants. I thought that was hilarious. So he could ride his lawnmower, you know. There's stuff like that. And like, or the one where they recreate 12 Angry Men, the movie, when he's trying to convince him about the lawnmower, and he's like, "No, Dale, your beer's going to get warm. It's all right above the engine." Like he has to, because he's the only one that doesn't think it's a safe lawnmower.
Right.
I love that episode. You know, so but a lot of that stuff, if you don't see that episode, you're just like, I have no idea what he's talking about right now. With the beer getting warm and yeah. But that is a show I can watch almost unlimited amount of times because I can walk away from it, just come back and just go, yes. So Jimmy's taking us out right now.
Taking us out. Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. Thanks for coming out to the Real Fish Talk. Hopefully you learned something. Maybe you had a laugh. Who knows?
A D in English, Bobby? You speak English.
You speak English. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to try and upload an extra video sometime soonish. It's one of the talks we saw at the ALA convention. We got permission. So
That's
it's
cool.
an hour-plus talk, so it makes sense to go on this channel. We'll see what else we can find to throw onto here. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Maybe we'll put a topic together. Who knows? We'll see how much time we got between now and then. And we need to deheat this thing.
It's hot in here.
It's getting hot in here. So we're going to have to...
And I'm not getting naked. I don't care what anybody says.
Not again. That
Not
was
again.
a bad idea last time.
Yep. It was weird.
Bye-bye.